This is a special presentation from News Channel Nebraska. This broadcast is presented by Currency. Does your business need financing for equipment, trucks, or trailers? Visit GoCurrency.com. And by Faith Regional Health Services. When you need exemplary care, have faith.
Well, hello and welcome on a beautiful sunny day at Memorial Stadium in Bob Cunningham Field in Wayne, America for college football on News Channel Nebraska. I'm Pat Jansen alongside Lou Siefker. Nolan Hoffman will be joining us shortly. And this Wayne State team, Lou, is in a real similar position to last season. A head coach in his first year on the field for the Wildcats, a team that was predicted to finish toward the bottom of the NSIC, but finds itself in contention for the NCAA Division II playoffs. But like last year, now colliding with a struggling Upper Iowa team, and that didn't go well for Wayne State last year in Fayette, losing in overtime to the Peacocks. How does Wayne State keep its head on straight and continue marching toward a potential playoff bid this year?
Well, I think last year's game might help them this year because you're not going to overlook Upper Iowa, and Upper Iowa comes off a win. I think they're going to be very focused despite Upper Iowa's record. 6-2 a year ago, they went up there and lost that game 42-41 in overtime. Now you got a chance kind of to right the ship here this year. You got the home game. It's Hall of Fame day. I think this team's going to be focused and ready to go.
It's gusty. It's windy. It's a couple teams that can put up points. Defense may really be the key here for both squads, Lou.
Yeah, and I think especially for Wayne State, I think Wayne State's very good offensively, can move the football, but last year gave up a lot of yards against Upper Iowa. Over 360 yards and 4 touchdowns passing. Marcus Orr, the quarterback who's back this year, had against him. It's going to be important today to get pressure on Orr. I think this team has a chance to get some picks here today. Orr has thrown 6 interceptions on the season, but I think pressure up front against Orr and make him get rid of the football quickly. A good secondary for Wayne State, I think, has a chance to have a big game here this afternoon.
Upper Iowa got their first win of the season last week, and a pick 6 was a big part of this win for Upper Iowa. How much do you think maybe that establishes a momentum and a psychology that they can do this heading into this Wayne State game this week?
Well, I think the Peacocks have to feel a little bit more confident getting that win, and the fact that they beat Wayne State last year, I think they're in a good place mentally. The problem is now you're coming on the road and you're playing against, I think, a hungry Wayne State team that remembers last year and that is thinking about the chance for a playoff. Arguably, this could have been a trap game for Wayne State, but I think after what happened last year, you're not looking ahead to Sioux Falls next week. Your focus is directly on Upper Iowa, so I think it's going to be difficult for the Peacocks today. For the Peacocks, you got to start well. They've struggled in the first half this season. Got to get off to a good start here this afternoon.
Huge point in the schedule for Wayne State as they try and make a run toward the NCAA Division II playoffs. That starts today against Upper Iowa. We'll take a break. We'll be back with Nolan Hoffman's interview with the head Wildcat himself, Logan Masters. You're watching college football on News Channel Nebraska.
The pregame show is brought to you by Norfolk Auto Center, Northeast Nebraska's volume leader, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple, always.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Life is full of occasions, some planned, some unexpected, some profound. At Faith Regional Physician Services OBGYN, our goal is to keep you in good health, to be there for all of life's moments. Together, we'll create the best health solutions for your symptoms and lifestyle with compassionate care tailored to you. Faith Regional Physician Services OBGYN, here for you no matter the occasion.
Good Welcome back here to the pregame show here on News Channel Nebraska. I'm joined by Wayne State head coach Logan Masters. And Logan, what was the message to your team this week to stay focused amid this game here today?
Yeah, most of our team remembers last year. We didn't make a big deal about it. It's still just about us. We need to start fast. When we play our best, we start fast and get after our opponents. So that's been the whole thing in practice. We changed things up to start hopefully quicker. And which again was play with energy, passion, and go out and execute, do your job, and have happy results.
Great, thanks, Coach. Have a good rest of your. Okay. Thanks so much. And more pregame show next here on News Channel Nebraska.
Wayne State is the college of choice.
Smart choice.
Sound choice.
Natural choice.
Strong choice.
Original choice.
Bold choice.
Affordable choice.
With over 130 programs of study, Wayne State College is the
first choice.
First choice.
First choice.
For students who want an excellent education at an affordable cost. Get started at ExploreWayneStateCollege.com.
A community is connections, friends, family, schools, teams. At Allo, we're honored to be a part of your community. As members of the community, we're committed to ensuring people stay connected to the services they need. That's why we're participating in the FCC's Affordable Connectivity Program. All qualifying customers get free 100 megabit per second internet or a $30 discount on all other internet packages. Go to allofiber.com/ACP to learn more.
Whether you play on a field or play on a court or are running to greatness, during the game and after the game, during the wins and during the losses, Agri City Insurance has you covered. Here to help you ensure what matters most. Agri City Insurance.
When you want to wear your pride on your sleeve, true Nebraskans turn to NebraskaScreenPrinting.com for the latest screen printing and embroidery design. View hundreds of designs or upload your own for any school activity, sport, booster club, or business. We can do it all in whatever color your pride comes in. Get your group order in for your event or team at NebraskaScreenPrinting.com today for a fast and convenient turnaround. We're custom sports screen printing and embroidery at NebraskaScreenPrinting.com. Proud to be Nebraskan.
When it comes to your auto partner, there is no house divided when you choose Woodhouse. 18 brands, one team, a winning experience every time.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Rheumatology is a subspecialty of internal medicine. It deals with systemic rheumatic disease. These are also known as inflammatory arthritis or autoimmune disease. I want my patients to know that I'm here to help them, and patient care is one of my priorities. I work closely with the patients and to come up with a personalized care plan so that we can help them to improve their health and quality of life. I'm Mukund Kumar. I'm a rheumatologist at Faith Regional.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're here at the grill, waiting for the flip.
He has a great hot lie here on the grill. Looks like he is going with the tongs here, Jim. A great choice.
Timing is everything.
Nailed it!
A flip for the ages.
What a flip. Perfect marks. I'd take a slice out of that one.
Certified Piedmontese, real Nebraska beef. So tender and dripping in flavor, you won't believe a steak this good can be shipped right to your front door.
For the streamers, for the gamers, for the long-distance video call makers, for the ones who don't want to miss out on the fiber things in life, they have Allo. Allo Fiber Internet keeps you connected with fast, reliable service and 24/7 support, so you can always get the ultimate experience. No hidden fees, no expiration dates, and no contracts. Experience the fiber things in life with Allo's super fast internet. Visit us at allofiber.com/fiberthings.
NSIC football on News Channel Nebraska. Pat Jansen alongside Lou Siefker, Nolan Hoffman down on the sidelines. And Lou, we talked about it in the pregame. Wayne State absolutely cannot afford a trap game against Upper Iowa. We know that Upper Iowa got them last year. There's a big one waiting for Wayne State next week if the Wildcats are able to get past this one as they go on the road against a one-loss Sioux Falls team. That could really be a game that determines which of those two teams potentially ends up in those NCAA Division II playoffs.
Right. I think for Wayne State, you're thinking ahead a little bit in that if you can win out the rest of the way, you certainly are going to be in the conversation for a playoff spot. But it starts today. You can't overlook Upper Iowa. They learned that last year. Can't say that they were overlooking them, but you wonder with Upper Iowa was winless in that game. But you can't do that here. You've got to be focused, and you got to take it one game at a time. I know it's cliche, but that's the way you have to do it. If you can win out, you have that chance to be in that conversation. And the big game, obviously, is next week in Sioux Falls against the Cougars. If you can win that ball game, certainly that's a big feather in your cap. But it doesn't matter if you don't win this game here today.
We just saw the Upper Iowa Peacocks, the visiting team here today in Memorial Stadium. Let's take a look at the school spotlight. Brought to you by Currency. Does your business need financing for equipment, trucks, or trailers? All you need is Currency. Visit GoCurrency.com. Of course, Wayne State, the team that we see here pretty much every other week. Over a century old, 1891, Wayne State was founded. It was not Wayne State College yet at that point. Memorial Stadium, home of the Wildcats since 1931. Bob Cunningham Field, named after a three-sport Hall of Fame athlete. And, of course, we're here in Wayne, a little over 5,500 people. And we mentioned Bob Cunningham, a Hall of Fame athlete at Wayne State. It is Hall of Fame Day here at Wayne State, and several Wildcat legends being inducted into the Wayne State Hall of Fame. It's always a fun day here, Lou.
Well, that's absolutely right. You honor these guys that are good. You mentioned three-sport athlete. There's guys like me that failed miserably at three sports. I don't know why we don't get attention. But, it's a great day. You get to see some of these people that were special athletes here on campus for Wayne State and get them honored. That's always a cool thing. And it certainly helps when it's like really nice. It's supposed to be about 70 degrees today, a little bit breezy, but overall for the end of October in northeast Nebraska, a pretty nice afternoon.
And it's a fun day. I got to see a few Wayne State legends who I remember from my days as the Wayne State play-by-play man. I remember one of my favorite Hall of Fame days, Greg McDermott, after he had just been hired as the Iowa State coach, did not wear black and gold when he was being honored on the Hall of Fame day. And interestingly enough, he was wearing Iowa State colors while Wayne State was playing Northern State. I was curious what his fashion choice would be. He went for his employer at that point.
Yeah, that's a heck of a Hall of Fame day with McDermott. He's got a special team down there in Creighton, I think, this year. They got a chance to have a special season.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we are just about set for our game here as Wayne State will receive the kickoff after Upper Iowa deferred. Let's take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Certified Piedmontese Beef. While Wayne State has the ball, which we will presume as they are receiving the kickoff, it'll be quarterback Nick Bowen, a sophomore from Bennington, running the show. Behind him, it'll be his senior tailback Anthony Watkins from Harvey, Illinois. His wide receivers are Shane Orr, a sophomore from Omaha, Jaden Johnson, a sophomore from Louisiana, Mason Lee, the senior from right here in Wayne, America, back in the starting lineup after an injury. His tight end is Gage Dengel, a 6'3", 215-pound sophomore from Bellevue. Meanwhile, this offensive line from left to right, it's experienced but young, as they've got a lot of redshirt freshmen and sophomores. In fact, Ryan Kennedy is the only non-freshman or sophomore. He's the center, but we'll take a look left to right. Jet Jansen, the sophomore from Lincoln, is the left tackle. Chris Graham Jr., the left guard, a redshirt freshman. Then it's Kennedy, the senior. Then Saquon Cobbs, the sophomore from Florida, 6'5", 300. And Terrell Tompkins from Hickman, 6'4", 300. That right side of the line is massive for the Wildcats. We'll take a look at the Upper Iowa defense, brought to you by Certified Piedmontese Beef. After the kickoff, as a foot is put into it, it's fielded. Well, actually, it will not be fielded. It'll be let go in the end zone, and the Wildcats will start after the touchback. Let's take a look at that Peacock defense from left to right up front. It's Jordan Brees, the 6'1", 240-pound senior. His defensive tackle next to him is Trey Baker. Rhett Smith is the nose guard. Braxton Bohr is the defensive end. R.J. Knock is the weak side linebacker. Peyton Bieber is the middleman. And Colin Jones is the Sam linebacker. Cornerbacks are Zacharias Murray and Cody Cotton. Cotton had a touchdown last week. And the safeties are C.J. Parrish and Tyler Owen. Bowen from the shotgun, fakes right, now going right, looking for Lee. And Lee is draped all the way down to the 40-yard line, and it drops incomplete with Murray in coverage.
I think Kevin Lee out there is going to be big for Wayne State today. Mr. Consistency, he just catches passes every game he plays, but he's one of those possession-type receivers. They obviously tried to go deep to him there, but he's such a good possession receiver, and I think good in the red zone, which is an area that Wayne State struggled just a bit last week.
And Bowen breaks off a big run, decides to keep it himself on that zone read, and busts out past the 40-yard line. That's going to be a gain of about 19. Nick Bowen, with this tempo that Wayne State runs, will be out there for a lot of snaps. He's actually had, in a single game, the second most offensive snaps of any NSIC player this year. Minnesota State Moorhead's quarterback. Moorhead is a team that likes to run real tempo. They're the only team that's had a player with more snaps.
Yeah, Nick Bowen actually has more rushing attempts than anybody on this team.
This time, though, he gives it to Watkins, who busts through a hole out past the 50 into Upper Iowa territory. Someone lost a shoe, but it's another first down for the Wildcats.
And Wayne State on the move. You know, for Upper Iowa, what we talked about as far as confidence, the Peacocks have to play well in the first half. They've been outscored 176-68 this year in the first half. You've got to play well early in this game if you're going to stay with Wayne State.
Bowen looking out left side, and I'm not sure if the ball slipped or if he saw the corner breaking and just decided to chuck that one into the turf.
Yeah, not the prettiest thing in the world. It might have slipped, or you're right, he might have just seen that DB coming. And however, unpleasant it was to look at, it wasn't a turnover.
That's the really first not positive play for Wayne State today. This time he goes to the right, and it's complete on the sideline as Johnson makes the catch. It'll bring up 3rd and short. There was another incompletion on the first play of the game, but otherwise Wayne State really kind of clicking.
Yeah, you want to get in a rhythm, and when Wayne State gets in that rhythm, they're pretty good. They can mix up the run and the pass. They've done a good job of that all year, being very balanced offensively. And I think that starts with Bowen and his ability as a quarterback to take the ball and run with it. It just creates that one more issue for the defense to deal with.
Kaiser busts through a hole. Not a lot there, but enough for a first down. The more concerning image for Wayne State is one of their big linemen looked like he got rolled up on. That was Nolan Ulrich out there.
Yeah, Ulrich being helped off of the field, must have got rolled up on, and that's certainly not a sight. He's listed number 2 at that right tackle spot. You want to Don't want to lose that depth, certainly.
Yeah, they were running a heavy set there as Tompkins still out there at right tackle. A pitch back to Bowen, not a lot there, and the ball's loose. Wayne State does end up on it. Looked like getting on the football for the Wildcats was Dangle, the tight end. And you mentioned that depth, as it looks like on that play, Saquon Cobbs got up a little bit limping. And we take a look at the Madison County Bank instant replay. And I think Bowen might have just hung on to that one a little too long, Lou.
Yeah, just a little bit long. You got to get rid of it. But, the one thing to remember, Wayne State had 4 turnovers in that game against Upper Iowa. Flags fly in now. They're going to stop the play. But 4 turnovers, 3 of those were fumbles. And that really kept Upper Iowa in that ball game. So you've got to take care of the football. Can't turn it over against the Peacocks here this afternoon.
Well, just as Wayne State had been humming along, they're really off schedule now, as they are backed up to the 45-yard line. It's going to make it 2nd and 22. Man in motion is Elder. He'll take the handoff. There's a lot of laundry on the field once again, as Upper Iowa snips that one out. And I think this one's going to be going back even further after Trevor Thompson makes the tackle for the Peacocks. But I think that's the least of Wayne State's worries here.
Yeah, we talked about Wayne State. Once their offense gets into that rhythm, they're very good. Now it's offsides against Upper Iowa, so a bit of a break for the Wildcats.
That may have been just lined up incorrectly there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I did not see any pre-snap movement across the line of scrimmage. I think you're right. I think that somebody lined up offsides.
I thought with all that motion, it might have been a procedural penalty against Wayne State, as Bowen, looking left side, going for Elder, left it just a bit long at the 15. Wayne State really likes to get Elder involved. The Las Vegas native has a lot of burst, but unable to find him that time.
Now they'll use him on end arounds and sweeps. They'll get him the football. Trying to go deep on that one. Now you got 3rd down and long. See what Wayne State does. Or if you try to get some yards here on 3rd down, depends on how many you get. Maybe you think about going for it.
Got 2 out to the left, another to the right as Bowen looks to his sideline. Shotgun snap, looking right. Goes out to Lee along the sideline, dancing.
Oh, wow.
Just short of the 20. It'll be...
That's a 1st down.
A 1st down for the Wildcats.
Well, that's a mistake by Upper Iowa. You've got to stay in front of that play. And we'll see the replay here. This is all Mason Lee. Great speed there. Just got past the defender. Picks up a big 1st down.
That is some balance, Lou Siefker.
Yeah. Yeah, he could be a tightrope walker if he wanted to.
Now he goes in motion, misdirection, no handoff, instead throwing left side, and Bowen had his man, his tight end Dangle, but left it short. He's going to regret that one when he goes back and looks at the film.
Yeah, Jordan Breeze, the defensive end for Upper Iowa, applied the pressure. Bowen had to throw against his body with that pressure and trying to throw, missed his man, just not able to get any oomph on that pass.
Yeah, I may have been a touch unfair. That's a very difficult throw. 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats. Bowen running option left side. Pitches it to Watkins. That may have been a forward pitch. Watkins dumped out of bounds. It's going to bring up 3rd down and long for the Wildcats.
Yeah, that might go down as a pass. But here at Wayne State again, 3rd down, and not quite as long as last time. It was 3rd and 17. Mason Lee picked it up. But, if you're Wayne State, you want to try to be a little bit better at staying on schedule. You don't want to continually face these 3rd down and long situations.
Alex Powders, the talented kicker, warming up for the Wildcats. Wayne State hoping they don't have to use him, at least not until point after touchdown. Bowen back toward the sideline now, ready to take the shotgun snap. He's looking right. Flushed out of the pocket. Chased. gets rid of it, and near the sideline, it's incomplete. That thing deflected about 1,000 different ways. That could have ended up in about 3 or 4 separate sets of hands, Lou.
Yeah, that was one where you hold your breath. Ball kind of bounced up in the air along that sideline, and certainly could have been a problem. But now, the one good thing if you're Wayne State is you got a pretty reliable guy in Alex Powders, a really good kicker. Now for Powders, not a super long field goal here, about 37 yards, but that wind is swirling down there. We'll see if how Alex Powders handles this kick.
He has the second longest field goal in the NSIC this season. Snap back, hold down, kick up, and it is no good.
Wow.
And Wayne State, after a strong drive, a few mistakes, and then suddenly a missed field goal from Mr. Reliable, and Upper Iowa feels like they have to have dodged about 4 or 5 different bullets.
Yeah, that was just kind of a weird drive for Wayne State. They look good for a while, and then not so good, and then they make a play, then they don't make a play. If you're Upper Iowa, I think you're pleased you came away with Wayne State driving, but no points. Now we'll see Peacocks can get something done offensively.
And you mentioned Marcus Orr before, but it'll be Darrell Overstreet Jr. who runs the offense today for the Peacocks. Fakes the handoff, looking to throw, and it's complete. Just short of the 35 as there's wrestling for the football, but coming up with it is his receiver. And there have been a lot of changes in this starting lineup for Upper Iowa, as it was Cole Ewald making that catch. We'll take a look at this on the Madison County Bank instant replay.
That was a good throw.
Now the handoff up the middle, nothing doing for the Peacocks this time. Let's take a look at the rest of the certified Piedmontese beef starting lineup. First for Upper Iowa. We mentioned it's Overstreet running the offense, the freshman from Illinois. He's got Jahani Wright, Jay Ford, and Richard Kamara as his wide receivers. Deshaun Phillips is his running back. Eddie Burgess, the tight end. The offensive line from left to right, Eddie Ghosh, Riley Kenau, Connor Anderson, Tyler Nielsen, and Noah Shermers. We'll take a look at the Wayne State defense after this. Motion man gets the handoff, nothing doing, as Wright is buried by a host of Wildcats. It's going to bring up 3rd and long. That Wayne State defense that we mentioned, defensive line from left to right, Rex Becker, the sophomore defensive end from Hardington, Drake Peed from South Dakota, the redshirt freshman, then Luke Sims, the sophomore from Omaha, and Jackson Johnson, the sophomore from Bancroft. Linebackers, Jalen Scott, Dexter Larson, Alex Kowalczyk. The secondary, Javon France, Jacob Bird, Tanner Cooper, and Marzion Cosby, as Overstreet throws right side on 3rd down, and a big hit laid right away by France, and that'll force an immediate punting situation for the Peacocks.
Yeah, Javon France is a good cornerback, but he's not just a good in coverage. He's a guy that will come up and lay the lumber. That was a nice hit there and did not allow that play to even develop. So Wayne State should get the ball back in reasonably good field position.
Yeah, France, in the broadcast we had earlier this year against Minnesota State, had a fantastic interception and a couple big hits as the snap is low, nearly blocked. Punt does get away. It'll land on the bounce, picked up by Bird, trying to go right side. Wants a block, doesn't get it, cuts back, and he's going to lose yardage on that punt return. And Wayne State will start inside their own 20 on drive number 2.
That was a pretty good kick. And if he doesn't field that ball probably rolls inside the 10-yard line. He lost some yards on the return, but overall I think you had to field that punt. Now, Wayne State does not have the field position they hope for. Now, for Wayne State offensively, again, it's about finding that rhythm, the play calling rhythm and the execution. You try to mix it up, try to catch the Peacocks off balance from time to time.
Shotgun snap to Bowen, looking left side all the way for Elder. Shakes a tackler out past the 20, 25, 30, and pushed out of bounds. That's what Wayne State wants to do, getting them the football out there in space.
That was a heck of a move there. It looked like a defender right there and expecting to get hit. But he did a great job just to juke him and then pick up nice yardage.
One of the most fantastic athletic plays I've ever seen was a Wayne State versus Upper Iowa game on that sideline as the handoff goes up the middle. Kaiser bowling his way out to the 40-yard line, going to bring up 2nd and 2. So Upper Iowa, their very first game as an NSIC school was in 2006 when Wayne State had Dan McLaughlin in their second year, in his second year as the head coach of the program. Wayne State had a lot of positive vibes going into that season. Well, Upper Iowa came in and upset Wayne State, but Brian Locke, who was a tight end, caught a little tight end screen out near that sideline where we saw that, caught it behind him, had a defensive back bearing down on him with a lot of momentum, and somehow Locke, while basically with backward momentum, ran over that defensive back. That remains one of the most athletic plays I've ever seen as Wayne State continues to move the ball, picking up another first down.
Well, speaking of athletic, David Elder, they're getting him the football, and that was another nice play, a big chunk yardage play. Wayne State has moved from inside their 20 now into Upper Iowa territory.
Second time today as the handoff goes up the middle to Kaiser once again. A lot of congestion. Does lean his way forward inside the Upper Iowa 45. Going to bring up 2nd and 7 for the Wildcats.
Yeah, I think I've always liked the combination there at the running back spot between Watkins and Kaiser. A little bit different styles, both very effective. And Kaiser more likely to get the ball there between the tackles.
I will say, though, Watkins, for as slight a frame as he is, can run physically and between the tackles. That's what he does this time inside the 40, and Wayne State finishing the blocks. It'll bring up 3rd down and short for the Wildcats. This first quarter brought to you by Region 4 Behavioral Health. Third down and short for the Wildcats. Elder goes in motion. Handoff Watkins trying to find his way through the cracks, and he'll do that out near the 30-yard line. Pick up another first down for the Wildcats.
Yeah, he mentioned there's your point exactly. Watkins also pretty good there between the tackles. Watkins is also the guy that can take it 70 yards to the house. So he's a pretty valuable guy back there. I like the way this offensive line is playing right now for Wayne State. They're really kind of winning the war up front, pushing that defensive front of Upper Iowa off the ball.
Ulrich does look like he'd be able to go back in if needed. He was limbering up a little bit ago. Bowen hands off Watkins once again, trying to shake tacklers. He kind of lost his footing. That didn't exactly help, and he'll be dropped for a loss. Bring up 2nd and 11 for the Wildcats.
That was good penetration that time on that left side of the defense for the Peacocks. Good pressure to blow up that play.
Clock running inside of 5 minutes. Wayne State looking to scratch the scoreboard. Fake the handoff to Kaiser, now rolling right
Wide
side,
open.
looking down the field. He's got a man wide open. Touchdown, Wildcats. Trevor Marshall snuck behind the defense, and the former Gretna Dragon gets the Wildcats on the board.
Yeah, he was wide open. He was open for quite a while there. That just got away from Upper Iowa. They lost him, and he ran right across the middle of the field wide open. That's an easy play there for Wayne State, and for Bowen. Throws the strike, and boy, Wayne State, that's what you want to do here. You want to put the pressure on Upper Iowa early.
Powders on to kick the extra point. Up and good. 7-0. Wayne State on top. 4:30 left to play first quarter. We'll be back with more after this. You're watching college football on News Channel Nebraska.
At Unity Eye Centers in Norfolk, their focus is on you. As a leading provider of optometry with advanced diagnostics and equipment, they can ensure your eye health is their top priority. A quick glance at their frame area will show you that you can have style as well as function, with plenty of frames to choose from. Their mission is to educate patients and provide cutting-edge technology and exceptional service with personalized care. Come to Unity Eye Centers in Norfolk to clearly see the difference. Why? Because your eyes deserve it.
A touchdown pass from Nick Bowen to Trevor Marshall. Couple Omaha area kids linking up, and that's got Wayne State on top 7-0 with 4:30 left to play first quarter. And Lou Siefker, it's that big play capability that Wayne State has.
Yeah, really suckered Upper Iowa into it with a play fake, with a run fake. And then Marshall, he was so wide open, he was lonely. He was just all by himself out there. But sometimes we talk about that a lot. Sometimes those plays are the harder ones to make, the pass or the catch, when you're that wide open. But Wayne State executes it very, very well. And like I also said moments ago, Upper Iowa has struggled in first half of games. So if you're Wayne State, you want to put a lot of pressure on them early.
And the kick fair caught. We mentioned that touchdown. You mentioned it with Marshall being wide open. Our researcher and former Wayne State football player Sheldon Fox, just to my left, I could see him waving his hands, trying to let Nick Bowen to find that receiver, because he could not really have been more wide open.
Yeah, he was so wide open you thought maybe he wasn't supposed to be out there. Like, where'd that guy come from?
Upper Iowa looking to answer. Key moment you got to imagine already for the Peacocks, as Overstreet looking right side, dumps it underneath. That's caught for about a 6 or 7 yard gain. Wayne State thinks that he lost the football, but referees are going to go ahead and say he's down. Javon France came up with the football, but perhaps just a touch too late.
Yeah, I think they're calling him down, so a nice first down gain for Upper Iowa.
Really, I kind of think that's kind of what the Peacocks need. They don't have quite the same big play potential that the Wildcats have. Man in motion, Overstreet hands it off to his halfback, who busts through. He's got room, and honestly, if the safeties don't make that tackle, there's a lot of room, as that's a first down pickup for the Peacocks with Deshaun Phillips.
Yeah, Phillips just got through that hole in a hurry and nearly broke that one all the way.
There was nothing behind the tacklers. Man in motion once again. It'll be the handoff to the motion man going right side. And a pickup of about 5 yards for Wright. We've seen the Peacocks try and do that a couple times already to try and get him to the edge.
Yeah, trying to, that's what you got to do really against this Wayne State defense, is find your playmakers, get them the football, try to get them the ball in space where they can make plays. And I think even though this is early, I think an important drive for Upper Iowa just because of their first half struggles.
Under center this time. Fake the handoff, now looking to go down the field. Nearly picked off. Oh, almost coming up with the interception was Cosby. He got his hands on it. He got a whole lot more than his hands on it. He may have got his forearms on it too. But for Upper Iowa, it drops harmlessly incomplete.
Yeah, he had a great break on that football, just not able to come up with it. So close to a big turnover for Wayne State. Cosby, I know he's wanting that one back.
Third down and 6 for the Peacocks. Man in motion. Overstreet claps his hands. Looking left. Nothing there. He's buried for a loss. That'll bring up fourth down and a punting situation for the Peacocks as a whole host of Wildcats are there.
Yeah, it started with Trent Rasmussen, the rush end. Number 93 got in there and a lot of pressure, and then his pals came to help him out. A lot of pressure that time by Wayne State. Great job there. And now you get the football back, force the Peacocks to kick it away.
Becker a big part of that as well. I've seen quite a representation from Hardington already today with Becker and Kaiser.
Yeah, Becker family is always down here in the stands too. They represent big time here for the Wildcats.
Punt is away. Bird under it. He'll fair catch inside the 20, and Wayne State will start its third drive of the day, looking for a second touchdown, leading 7-0 with 1:56 left to play first quarter.
And Wayne State about right where they started the last drive, inside the 20-yard line. But it did not deter them. They were able to take it and score the touchdown. And they're doing a good job right now, our Wayne State, averaging about 5.4 yards a rush. I think that's important today. The better you can run the football, the more diverse your offense can become. And if you'll take 5.5 yards a carry, actually they updated the stats. It's 6.2 now. 6.2, that's even better. So if you can run the ball like that, you're going to have a good afternoon.
Wildcats go back to the ground. Going to be another solid pickup on first down of about 4 yards as they go back to Kaiser. 2nd and 6 for the Wildcats.
Yeah, we're heading toward the end of the first quarter. I think Wayne State, you'd be happy just to put together a nice solid drive here.
Handoff once again to Kaiser, and he's just swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Does work his way forward for a yard, but going to bring up third down and a long 4 for the Wildcats.
Yeah, here's where you want to be able to move the ball. You want to keep that field position in your back pocket just outside of the 25-yard line. This is an area where Wayne State needs to be good, and this third and manageables.
Under a minute to play first quarter. Kaiser in the backfield with Bowen. Bowen looking right. He's got Mason Lee, who's got a step, but just left it a bit long for him. Ooh, man. If he could have just dropped that in for him, Mason Lee could have been running a while.
Yeah, I mean, you went for the big play with Lee and almost hit it. Unfortunately, you had Jaden Johnson on the underneath route who was open. That would have been an easy first down. And went for all of it there and come up empty. So now Wayne State has to kick the football away in their own territory.
The umpire inspects Alex Powders. Not sure exactly what the potential uniform infraction would have been. Powders just gets that away. There's a lot of traffic. It lands out of bounds. This is going to be a short punt, and the best field position of the day for Upper Iowa. They start at their own 49.
And that was pressure. I don't know if they got their hand on it, but the pressure, I think, changed the way Powders kicked that football. It came off the side of his foot, out of bounds. And, you know, we talked about Powders, how good he is as a place kicker, also an excellent punter. But it was the Upper Iowa pressure that changed that kick and gave them great field position.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic couple of years in Wayne. One of the few people that Wayne State will have to replace next season. This is still a very young roster.
Yeah.
Some of that, the COVID year. As Overstreet looks right side, connects inside the Wayne State 45. That's a 7-yard pickup on first down as the clock runs under a minute first quarter.
It's a short slant to Ewald. That was a good catch. That ball was humming, and it was out in front of him. He makes a good dive to pick up 7 yards on first down. Upper Iowa will take that every day of the week.
They're really just trying to get Overstreet into a rhythm, it seems, Upper Iowa. Man in motion. Misdirection. Now he throws over the middle. It's complete inside the 30, inside the 20, and drugged down after a pickup of about 30 yards. making the catch was Isaiah Gray, the tight end. Love those uniforms, but the baby blue numbers a little difficult to read, but just trucking defenders inside the 20, and that's how we end the first quarter. 7-0 Wildcats on top of the Peacocks, but Upper Iowa driving the football. We'll be back with the second quarter after this on News Channel Nebraska.
At Elkhorn Valley Bank, we believe in local. It's something we live by. It's something we're proud of. It's helping our neighbors grow like they've helped us. Supporting families, investing in lives, and creating prosperity. Local means making decisions that grow and improve surrounding communities we call home. Investing in our nonprofits and giving back. Elkhorn Valley Bank and Trust, great for you, great for your community.
Let your next adventure take flight in Sarpy County, Nebraska for some high-flying fun. Legendary family adventures. Out-of-this-world shopping. Star-studded evenings. And award-winning experiences. Our flights are never canceled. Stay, play, and plan your getaway at GoSarpy.com.
Well, that is one heck of a way to start the second quarter. Wayne State defense buries Overstreet, drops him for a big loss after Upper Iowa closed the quarter with a big gain from their tight end.
That time Jackson Johnson, another rush end there just crashes down on that play, but gets a big sack. 9-yard loss there for the Peacocks.
2nd and 19, 14:29 left to play in the first half. Overstreet from the shotgun, looking left side, going toward the corner of the end zone. Caught! Touchdown, Peacocks. What a catch by Cole Ewald, the sophomore from Hopkins, Minnesota. He had France draped all over him, but he came down with the touchdown. There was a flag. Not sure whether this is related to the defense of the play or the response afterward. Let's take a look at the Madison County Bank instant replay.
That is a great pass, first of all, and then a fantastic catch. Ewald, who's not even on our two deep rosters, he's been big in this game. That was a fantastic play. Just a excellent, just a deep fade there in that corner of the end zone. Ewald able to make a great catch as he's going out of bounds.
It was on Wayne State, so the touchdown will stand. Seefeld on to kick this for the Peacocks and tie this one up. The kick is up, and it is good. That's what we've got, a tie game. Upper Iowa trying to be a fly in the ointment once again. 7-7, 14-18 left to play first half. We'll take a break and be back with more. You're watching college football on News Channel Nebraska.
Wayne State is the college of choice.
Smart choice.
Sound choice.
Natural choice.
Strong choice.
Original choice.
Bold choice.
Affordable choice.
With over 130 programs of study, Wayne State College is the
first choice.
First choice.
First choice.
For students who want an excellent education at an affordable cost. Get started at ExploreWayneStateCollege.com.
We knew our son was having some speech issues, and we contacted the school to get him evaluated through the school, and he did not qualify. And so I decided to see if the hospital could do anything for him, because I just really didn't want him to form a habit that was hard to break.
So for Max, he came in with a phonological disorder and an articulation disorder. And so his was really unique. It wasn't one that we would expect him to outgrow in a year. So that's why we could treat him right away.
It went awesome. He loved speech. He loved coming to speech.
Well, speech therapy looks a little bit different for everybody. So some people need speech for what you would imagine. Speaking, being understood, being more confident.
It was really kind of fun to see the increase in his confidence as he was speaking to people.
because he knew he was more understandable and people could communicate with him better.
When our son needed speech therapy,
We had faith.
Wayne State tied up with Upper Iowa 7-7 after the Peacocks connect on a 26-yard touchdown strike. Peacocks trying to ruin Wayne State's playoff chances for a second straight year. And quite honestly, Lou, this Wayne State team has felt like they've controlled this game for the most part, but unable to finish drives a couple times, and then Upper Iowa, just with a fantastic college football play, ties this one up.
I think you go back to last week's game, Southwest Minnesota State, very much the same. Wayne State really outplayed them most of the game. That game was very, very close because Wayne State not able to finish drives. Now the penalty for Upper Iowa, here we go with the kickoff, should have great field position.
Jaden Johnson fields it, already in decent field position, and then out past the 45, shoved out of bounds. I incorrectly stated earlier that the penalty was on Wayne State. Instead, it was against Upper Iowa, the celebration, and Ewald did turn, it looked like, and say something to Javon France, kind of held the ball out there as well. And that you don't want to give Wayne State extra field position if you don't have to.
No, I think if somebody's jawing you and you just made a touchdown, you just point to the scoreboard. Is all you got to do. Yeah, that's a penalty you don't want after a big play, and that gives Wayne State great field position.
Handoff left side and out past the 45, 40, and solid pickup on first down for the Wildcats.
There's a great block out in front of that play by Watkins. Just held his man up. Just a great job to shield the defender away and allow that play to pick up extra yardage. But if you can block on the perimeter like that, like Watkins did on that play, you've got a chance to have a big day offensively.
Wayne State moving the football once again. As the handoff goes, Watkins up the middle, slicing, dicing inside the 30, and that's near another first down once again.
Well, Watkins gets a great block, so you might as well reward him with a carry. And a nice run there. I think one thing that impresses me is his ability in that short amount of space. Got great feet and moves laterally so well in traffic, and he's very difficult to bring down.
By the way, it was Forgy who had that previous carry, not listed on the roster. He hasn't really played much in the early portions of the season. As Bowen fakes the handoff to the motion man. Now with a little hesitation move, he's inside the 20-yard line, or near it anyway. Another first down for the Wildcats. That's some shiftiness from the former Bennington Badger.
Yep. Bennington's pretty good in high school football again this year. But Bowen out here at quarterback, he is, he's so prolific, not just throwing the ball, but as we mentioned, has more carries than anybody on this Wayne State team, has 496 yards rushing coming into this game.
Watkins trying to get to the edge. There's a flag, and Watkins dumped for a loss. That's really good pursuit by the Upper Iowa defense.
And that flag comes flying in there. Bowen throws his hands up in frustration. Very clearly a hold going to be called. Yep, that's what it is. And coming back, Wayne State kind of hurting themselves right now with some untimely mistakes.
You know, we mentioned that Wayne State is a very young team, but at the same time, still a very veteran team. A lot of players who are redshirt freshmen, sophomores. That's why pretty much all of the freshmen on this team, the first-year freshmen, aren't playing at all. That's why it was so it kind of caught us off guard when Dawson Forgy got that carry earlier for the Wildcats.
Yep.
Fake the handoff to Kaiser, now going to Lee, and Lee right at the original line of scrimmage, got his hands on it, or was that Lee or Johnson? I missed that. I believe that was Lee, but it bounces off his hands and drops incomplete.
Yeah, Lee went low to catch that one. And you don't see him. He's such a good receiver. You don't see him drop many of those. That was, even though it's a tough catch, it's one he got his hands on. I'm sure he would tell you that those are passes that he normally catches.
2nd and long for the Wildcats. Bowen looking deep. He's got a man and makes the catch. Does Shane Orr, the former member of the Crimson Pride at Roncalli Catholic High School, stretches out and makes it 1st and goal for the Wildcats.
We're in World Series time now. How about a strike? How about a 90-mile-an-hour fastball? And then what a great catch here, just to extend himself and catch that football. That one was humming, but a great pitch and catch, 1st and goal for the Wildcats.
As we saw in the replay, Trevor Thompson, the linebacker, had a chance. No one has a chance to defend this one as the Wildcats go for 6. It's the tight end hauling it in for the Wildcats. Touchdown, Trey Miller, the former Bishop Neumann Cavalier, and the Wildcats are back on top.
Hey, Trey Miller just releases there. Bit of a tight end release into the end zone, and nobody picked him up. So that's 2 touchdown passes for Bowen. Both of those touchdowns, the receiver's wide open.
Yeah, Upper Iowa, just like on the first touchdown, lost the receiver. And now Powders on for the extra point. Kick up and good. 14-7, Wayne State on top with 11:47 left to play first half. Back with more after this. You're watching college football on News Channel Nebraska.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
If you've ever tried to grow something, you know the time and attention it takes. Imagine growing crops that feed our community and nation. Dawn to dusk, farm families will work tirelessly to complete the season's work. What began as seed has grown into bountiful crops spanning as far as the eye can see. The fruits of this labor benefit our community and our nation's economy. During this harvest season, Madison County Bank offers all farmers our sincere thanks and appreciation for all that you do.
Hall of Fame Day in Wayne, America. Wildcats kick it away with a 14-7 edge. That one will bounce in the end zone. And the Peacocks will start at their own 25, looking to bounce back after the touchdown by the Wildcats. This quarter brought to you by Unity Eye Centers, with offices in Norfolk, Pierce, Columbus, Grand Island, and St. Paul. Alongside Lou Siefker, I'm Pat Jansen. You're watching college football on News Channel Nebraska. We've got Nolan Hoffman down on the sidelines, who will be with us at certain points today. Touchdown by Trey Miller is the difference right now as Upper Iowa goes to the ground on first down. It'll be a pickup of about 3 for the Peacocks.
Well, you wondered coming into the game why Overstreet is the starting quarterback when you've got a guy last year, Marcus Orr, that really lit up this defense. But when you look at Overstreet's statistics, he's averaging about 70% completion since he's taken over. He's having a nice season. And obviously that last touchdown was about as good a throw as you're going to find.
6 of 7 so far today is Overstreet. Takes the shotgun snap. He's got time, and he is now 6 of 8 as he fires that just a tad high for Abakar Berry.
Now the Will linebacker there, Kowalczyk. I don't have the Wayne State history you do, Pat, but I got to say Kowalczyk's one of my favorite players I've ever watched here in the last few years doing games. He's all over the place, easily the leading tackler on the team. Had the interception last week to seal the deal against Southwest Minnesota State.
This linebacking core with him and Larson and Jalen Scott has a lot of athleticism. Jalen Scott, it feels like, could be a safety.
Yeah.
As Overstreet is buried in the backfield this time. Going to be a hard time pinning down who that sack came from, as there were about 14 different Wildcats there. I think leading the way for Wayne State may have been Caleb Browse, the junior from Harlan, Iowa, and it's going to be a punting situation for the Peacocks.
Yeah, great pressure that time by Wayne State. Just kind of brought the house there. Man-to-man coverage downfield, and they got the sack. And here we go. You figure they're going to get good field position, although the last punt from Upper Iowa was outstanding.
Bird is standing in Upper Iowa territory in the middle of that Wildcat paw, and Wayne State brings the pressure once again. Punt just away, but Bird does field it in Upper Iowa territory, and the Wildcats have a chance to really gain a little separation here.
Yep, they got a chance now to, as you said, separate a little bit, get a couple score lead. You got great field position. These are the sort of situations for Wayne State. You've got to be good in these situations when you have the opportunities, put points on the board. The last thing you want to do is allow Upper Iowa to hang around. As we mentioned, they've struggled in the first half. Much better second half team are the Peacocks. So for Wayne State here, you want to try to gain some distance if you at all can.
21-7 would be ideal for Wayne State in this scenario, although the Wildcats did have a 21-7 lead last year in Fayette, Iowa. As they go to the ground to Kaiser. Kaiser trying to shake away from a group of Peacocks, but unable to do so. It's going to be second and long for the Wildcats.
As so far, Wayne State has been able to avoid the turnovers, and that's really what cost them, I think, last year. They had 4 turnovers in that game. Really allowed Upper Iowa to get back in that game and eventually win it 42-41 in overtime.
Well, you got to feel like if Wayne State gets in a position to salt this one away, they have that opportunity right now, outrushing Upper Iowa 88 to -9, as this time they go to the air to Lee. He's shaking tacklers. He's inside the 25, and Wayne State with another big play. They're on the move, 1st and 10.
Well, get Lee back in the game. Missed the game last week with an injury, but back today, and all he does is catch passes every single game he plays. He sat down in that zone against Upper Iowa in that play, and another good pass, found the opening in the zone, and Lee made Upper Iowa pay.
Going to send 3 wide receivers out to the left side is Bowen this time. Takes the shotgun snap, trying to follow his blockers. Now cuts back to the left. Back in the middle, 20, 15. And wow, that is some shiftiness from Nick Bowen to pick up good yardage on 1st down.
I'm telling you what, Nick Bowen could play running back. He is that good of a runner. Obviously a very valuable quarterback. But that's a reason why he's run the ball more than anybody. You got good running backs back there, Watkins and Kaiser, but you've got a third running back in that backfield in Bone. He's a pretty special player.
He's fairly compact. You stand next to him, and he's not a real imposing figure, but he's physically dense. We'll put it that way. Handoff. Watkins cuts back left side, gets a tackle. And gets a block from Bowen. Bowls his way into the end zone. Nick Bowen, practically a fullback, clears the way for Watkins. Touchdown Wildcats, and a 2-possession lead for Wayne State.
Well, I got to tell you, Watkins was going to score on that anyway, but Nick Bowen just laid his man out. What a block by the quarterback. My goodness.
I think more of his teammates may have celebrated with Bowen than Watkins because of that block. He just had him in his sights, as we see on the Madison County Bank instant replay. And
nice
Watkins
block.
went and found him right away. Powder's now on for the extra point. It is up and good. 21-7, Wayne State on top of Upper Iowa. 8:15 left to play 1st half. Back with more after this on News Channel Nebraska.
At Unity Eye Centers in Norfolk, their focus is on you. As the leading provider of optometry with advanced diagnostics and equipment, they can ensure your eye health is their top priority. A quick glance at their frame area will show you that you can have style as well as function, with plenty of frames to choose from. Their mission is to educate patients and provide cutting-edge technology and exceptional service with personalized care. Come to Unity Eye Centers in Norfolk to clearly see the difference. Why? Because your eyes deserve it.
When the game wraps up or even before kickoff, our community welcomes you with open arms. The Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau is happy to have you here, and we want to show you what we're all about. From wide open spaces to music, shopping, entertainment, and more, there is always something for you to discover in our city. Stop by the Visitors Center at 7th and P in the Haymarket or visit Lincoln.org. The Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau is a proud supporter of high school athletics.
Well, we are getting some physical football here in Wayne, America today. Lou Siefker just saw a block from the quarterback, Nick Bowen, and Wayne State on top 21-7. Alex Powders to kick this one away. And it will land in the end zone. Upper Iowa will start from its own 25. Stay tuned for our halftime show presented by Wayne State College, devoted to student success for more than 100 years.
And we'll see how that last drive and the last block fires this defense up. Defense has been very good in this ball game. We talked about Wayne State wanting to be able to run the ball, and they've done that offensively, 111 yards, averaging 6.5 yards a carry. Against Upper Iowa, running the football, -9, and that's a lot of negative plays, some sacks. So Upper Iowa not running the ball at all against this Wildcat D.
They go back to the air. It's a completion and a first down for the Peacocks, as coming down with it was Deshaun Phillips, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Upper Iowa.
Yep, for the Peacocks now, you just got to try to put a drive together and try to stay close in this game. Plenty of time left here, just under 8 minutes in the second quarter.
Overstreet takes the high snap, hands off, and not a lot of room, a couple of yards, and it'll bring up 2nd and long for the Peacocks. Again, you mentioned, Lou, just an inability to run the ball so far, as those 2 yards will get Upper Iowa all the way up to -7 rushing for the day.
Yeah, and this, this day and age of college football, you really have to, you can't be very one-dimensional and win very many games. You got to be able to attack the defense in multiple ways, and Peacocks have not been able to run the football, as we mentioned this afternoon.
They do try once again. It'll be about a yard, as that Wayne State defensive front just chewing up blockers and chewing up Phillips. It'll bring up 3rd and long for the Peacocks.
And this is where Wayne State wants Upper Iowa, because now, they've been able to pressure the quarterback and bring the heat. We'll see if they do that again here. Maybe throw a blitz, bring some pressure, try to get a sack.
Wayne State with that 4-man front. They got 2 linebackers looking like they want to blitz. They don't. They throw out to the right side to the Peacocks, and Bird gobbles up the receiver, Jahani right away, and another 3 and out. Well, actually, there was 1 first down on that drive, but a pretty quick drive for the men in powder blue, and the Peacocks will punt away once again.
Not what you needed if you're Upper Iowa. You wanted to put together a drive, run some clock, maybe score before the end of the half. But 2 running plays and a short pass after that first down, so Upper Iowa's got to kick it away again.
Tragan Kramer on to punt for the Peacocks. Bird waits at his own 25. It's a low knuckleballer. Lands outside the 30. Does roll to about the 25, and that's where the Wildcats will start, looking to add to their 21-7 advantage.
Hey, you've got plenty of time here. 5:45 to go before halftime. You get all your timeouts. That's an eternity for this offense I think for Wayne State, you try to really get a stranglehold on this game. You're able to, as you mentioned, their 21-7 lead last year evaporated. I think a 28-7 lead they would certainly like a lot better and take that to the locker room if possible here at home.
With the way this offense and defense have both played so far today, you hate to get ahead of yourself, but there's honestly enough time for 2 scores. But they got to get one first as the handoff. Fake to the motion man. Bowen keeps it, cuts back left side, 35-40, and knocked out of bounds. He was trying to get to the sideline, but wanting to make the hit was Jordan Pippian, and he does. It was in the field of play, but a first down for the Wildcats.
Yep, clean hit, 14-yard gain, though. You will take that just about every single time.
More on that carry for Bowen than Upper Iowa has as a team rushing the football so far today. Elder goes in motion. Handoff up the middle. Watkins trying to weave his way right side. Shakes away from tacklers out past midfield. And another big run for that Wayne State rushing attack. And it's just patience and vision for these Wayne State runners, Lou.
Yeah, and I think you see there again Watkins' ability to change directions and to cut in small areas there. Even though that was a bit out in space, defenders around him, his shiftiness allowed him to get those extra yards.
Good shot from our crew to see that hole. Thanks again to the Madison County Bank instant replay. Bowen looking left side, completes Schmaderer inside the 40, near the 35. That's close to a first down with the clock running inside 4:30 left in the first half. Wayne State trying to extend this 21-7 lead.
Yeah, you're starting to really get this feel for this Wayne State offense that they're getting that rhythm that we talked about. They're running the ball well, and they're able to make plays throwing the football. Very multidimensional is what they want to be, and once that gets into that rhythm, they're very difficult to defend.
Watkins over on the sideline. Meanwhile, they go to Kaiser. He's got a hole. Left side, 20, 15, 10. Spun down at the 5-yard line. And the former Cedar Catholic Trojan gets Wayne State first and goal.
A good blocking up front there. I believe it was Jake Steyer, the center, that threw a block that sprung him.
Now back to Kaiser left side, trying to weave his way through. He's inside the 5 as we got a quick look at that hole that Jacob Kaiser was running through. Watkins will come back on the field. It looked like he was kind of stretching his hamstring while on the sideline. Good to see him back on the field. We'll check out that replay once again with Kaiser. And as you mentioned, Lou, some good blocking, not just at the point of attack, but downfield as well.
Yeah, this team has come to block here. This offensive unit has done a great job against Upper Iowa holding their blocks.
Watkins will try and go up the middle. Now cuts out right side, trying to get to the edge. He gets to the corner. Touchdown, Wildcats.
Wow.
Anthony Watkins with just another gear, and Wayne State extends their lead 27-7.
That's 75 yards in less than 3 minutes. That's an impressive drive.
Take a look at that Madison County Bank instant replay once again, and everyone just looked like they were standing in sand trying to tackle Anthony Watkins, and Alex Powders now on to attempt the extra point. Snap back, hold down, kick up, and it is good. 28-7, Wayne State on top of Upper Iowa with 3:07 left to play first half. Back with more after this. You're watching college football on News Channel Nebraska.
When you want to wear your school spirit on your sleeve, true Nebraskans turn to Custom Sports Screen Printing. No matter what activity you want to show off, Custom Sports has you covered in whatever color your spirit comes in. Check out the gallery at nebraskascreenprinting.com to see custom designs for every school activity, sport, booster club, and event. And get your group orders in now for a fast and convenient turnaround. Custom Sports Screen Printing at nebraskascreenprinting.com. Proud to be Nebraskan.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
If you've ever been on the Wayne State College campus, you know it can be blustery, and Alex Powders just as familiar with that. The ball knocked over by the wind. Now he approaches, and the kick is high, end over end. Upper Iowa won't field it as it lands on the N in Wayne State. 3:07 left to play first half. Wildcats have come to play. They did not want this to be a trap game, Lou. We talked about it, and this Wayne State offense refuses to be trapped.
Well, yeah, they have not been trapped. 39 plays for 331 yards for Wayne State in the first half. That's impressive. And they've done it, again, very balanced, 177 yards rushing. You like that. That's a good total, and 154 receiving yards, so very balanced offense this afternoon for the Wildcats.
Overstreet back to work. He goes with another short pass caught at the 30-yard line. He'll bring up 2nd and 5 for the Peacocks. Now kind of going a little bit of tempo.
Yeah, I don't know that you're going to be able to run the ball much. -6 yards here in the first half for Upper Iowa. And -6, that makes me think of what the weather's going to be here in a couple of months. But
we don't need to talk about that, Lou.
Yeah, let's forget about that.
Overstreet again from the shotgun. He's looking right and leaves it short. Good coverage on the play by Cosby, who's been involved a few times already today. He was looking for Jay Ford, was Overstreet, but left it short. Brings up 3rd and 5. And here's that opportunity I talked about, Lou, where Wayne State, if they can get off the field, they get a chance to throw another one on the board.
Yeah, you've still got timeouts left, all of them. And plenty of time. The way they scored the last drive, you've got time for sure.
2:30 left to play first half, 28-7, Wayne State on top. Overstreet trying to keep the Upper Iowa drive alive. Scott bearing down on him, and he had to get rid of that one.
Yeah.
My goodness. Jalen Scott is a bad man. He came in there with bad intentions, and he has lots of speed to go along with that size. I don't think I'd want to be staring down Jalen Scott in that scenario if I were Overstreet either.
No, I would have screamed loudly and thrown the ball out of bounds is what I would have done. But here you go, Pat. The 3 and out, the incomplete pass, 2:26 left. Probably going to get good field position. Wayne State kids certainly will have the opportunity to put more points on the board.
Bird fair catches at the 41, and Wayne State, as you mentioned, Lou, with good field position, all 3 timeouts, 2:21 left to play first half, and Upper Iowa, you got to feel like, is hanging on for dear life at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. The defense obviously is getting a little tired, even though it's the second quarter, with all the success that Wayne State has had. And then Wayne State defensively has done a really good job. As we mentioned, they have not been able to run the ball, Upper Iowa, against Wayne State. And then their quarterback, Overstreet, he was 9 of 11 at one point. Now 2 incompletions on that last possession, but 9 of 11. But only one of them has been a sizable gain, and that was that touchdown.
Oh, Wayne State about gives up that possession. That could have been we mentioned turning points and Upper Iowa hanging on for dear life. That could have been a huge momentum shift if Upper Iowa could have come up with that football and had a chance to make it a 2-possession game before halftime.
Right. If Wayne State does not turn the ball over, I think they're going to win this football game. Turnovers last year, as we mentioned, really hurt them, and 4 turnovers allowed Upper Iowa back in the game.
Kaiser will take the handoff this time, trying to cut back upfield, gets to the 40-yard line, picks up a good amount of the yardage that was lost on that fumble, but it's going to bring up 3rd down and long, and a really interesting choice for Logan Masters and Colin Prosser for running this offense and how they choose to do this on 3rd down.
Yeah, you've got 3rd and long. We'll see what they come up here.
from the shotgun, looking right, fires, caught Mason Lee. Gave back some of the yardage initially, but picks up a little bit extra after the catch, and Wayne State on the move in Upper Iowa territory. Now I think the strategy goes back toward the hurry-up.
Yeah, now you get aggressive. And Bowen, man, does he have an arm on him. That was an absolute strike to Lee.
After Elder gets set, Wildcats hand off to Kaiser, and a heck of a tackle by Upper Iowa as busting in to make the stop. Trying to get the number there. That was Baxter Bohr, the defensive lineman who came around on the edge.
I think they were trying to catch Upper Iowa by surprise. I think Upper Iowa was thinking the same thing we were. They were going to be going downfield, get aggressive downfield, tried to pop the run with Kaiser, but it did not go anywhere.
While we've got a timeout, let's send it down to the third member of our crew, Nolan Hoffman, who's got a report for us down there in the end zone. Nolan.
Hey guys, for people who don't know, here at Wayne State College today, it is Hall of Fame Day, and at halftime, some Hall of Fame inductees will be inducted into the Wayne State College Hall of Fame, and hopefully at halftime, I'll be able to talk with at least a couple of those inductees. Let's bring it back up to you, Pat.
Thank you very much, Nolan. It is an impressive class that's inducted into this Wayne State Hall of Fame. I'm excited for at least a few of them. Got a chance to see some of them during my days as the Wayne State play-by-play guy, and one who really was a big part of my time, Nicole Guntrod, who was on a couple NCAA tournament teams. As we're back to game action now, Bowen looking to pass, chased out of the pocket. He's going to run now. He's got some green. Past the 30, ducks out of bounds at about the 25. They'll mark him at the 27, and with 42 seconds left to play first half, Wayne State back on the move.
Yeah, the Sam linebacker there for Upper Iowa was in pass coverage. Colin Jones had his back turned. Really was the only defender on that side, and Bone recognized that and took off with the run, picks up great yardage. Now you're right there around field goal range, plenty of time. Still with the 2 timeouts left to attack and try to score a touchdown.
Powders has missed one in this swirling wind today as Bowen to about the 25. He's going to pick up 2, and I got to imagine that'll be the second timeout called by Wayne State. It is. We'll go ahead and take a quick break with them. Back with more after this. You're watching college football on News Channel Nebraska.
Life is full of occasions, some planned, some unexpected, some profound. At Faith Regional Physician Services OBGYN, our goal is to keep you in good health, to be there for all of life's moments. Together, we'll create the best health solutions for your symptoms and lifestyle with compassionate care tailored to you. Faith Regional Physician Services OBGYN, here for you no matter the occasion.
If you're thinking about building in the country but still want to be close to a community with schools, medical, and a thriving downtown, consider purchasing on acreage at 220 Acreage north of Hardington. With interest rates low, you can buy now and there's no requirement on when you...
Fall harvest means long hours for you and your equipment. You both need a fuel that can handle the pressure. So use Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster Premium Diesel from Farmer's Pride for more power, better fuel economy, faster starts, and special additives to help reduce downtime. What's more, when you do business with Farmer's Pride, you'll notice a personal touch that goes beyond the expected. Farmer's Pride, in the field, on your farm, in your community.
It's my ski mask.
19. Yeah, that one.
After a second down incompletion by Nick Bowen, it's going to bring up 3rd down and 8 for the Wildcats. Thanks for watching college football with us today on News Channel Nebraska. Big 3rd down, you kind of got to imagine, for both teams.
Yeah, certainly for Upper Iowa, you want to try to force a field goal attempt here, and Wayne State trying to go for a bit of a kill shot here if they're able to get a touchdown before halftime.
Bowen Drops it underneath for Mason Lee. Shakes a tackler. 15-10, 5.
He's in.
Touchdown, Wildcats.
Wow.
Mason Lee, after the catch, does work, and the Wildcats extend their lead to 34-7.
Well, I think you saw a couple of things there pretty well, maybe even three. Good protection. Bone did a nice job to not to force that play, allowed Lee to get open on that crossing route, delivers a strike, and then Lee, great athletic play there, breaks a tackle, takes it all the way to the house. That's a huge touchdown penalty being called here, I think, after the play on Wayne State.
Well, one for each team now after a touchdown. Mason Lee, as we see in this replay, really kind of deceptively athletic. You think of Jaden Johnson as the big burst guy, but Mason Lee has a little extra in the tank as well.
I think they missed him last week against Southwest Minnesota State, that one extra receiving option, but he has played an excellent game here in this first half against Upper Iowa.
Nothing lingering from that injury as Powders boots this through. 35-7, Wayne State on top. 19 seconds left to play first half. Back with more after this on News Channel Nebraska.
Babies need chiropractic too. A chiropractic adjustment can give your...
I'm Chris Suckup, and I started at Madison County Bank in 2003.
Experience, commitment to community, and unmatched customer service. Madison County Bank has been rooted in Northeast Nebraska for over 130 years and is here to help you grow. For ag banking, home loans, and business banking, visit your local Madison County Bank in
Madison, Plainview, Albion, and all of Northeast Nebraska.
When it comes to your auto partner, there is no house divided when you choose Woodhouse. 18 brands, one team, a winning experience every time.
Well, if there was any threat of an Upper Iowa upset like last season, this Wayne State offense, and quite honestly, the Wayne State defense, have done everything they can to snuff that out, Lou. 35-7, Wayne State on top just before halftime.
Well, the Wayne State defense holding Upper Iowa to under 0 yards and negative yards. I believe it was -6 last I saw. And offensively, how about this for balance? 191 rushing for Wayne State, 196 passing.
Squib kick by Powders after the post-touchdown penalty. There was a fair catch called. It bounced, and then a different returner wanted to return it, but not allowed to do that. And he gets the explanation from the official, and Upper Iowa has 18 seconds left. I would imagine they're going to take a knee deep in their own territory.
Yeah, you've not been able to move the ball with any consistency at all, and you've only got 18 seconds rather. And I think about the only thing that's going to happen is a turnover if you're not careful.
Logan Masters gave a huge pat on the back to Alex Powders. When you're backed up just before halftime after a penalty and are able to execute the kick like that, that's a big moment too.
Yeah.
Wayne State doing a lot of little things well. They're on top 35-7 as we head to the halftime break. Let's go ahead and take a break with them. We'll be back with more after this on News Channel Nebraska.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. If your business needs help financing big-ticket items, visit gocurrency.com for details. And by Custom Sports. Represent your school and look good doing it with Custom Sports. NCN Sports is sponsored by Certified Piedmontese Beef, real Nebraska beef. Norfolk Auto Center, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple always. And by Plumbing and Electric. Looking for country living? Contact 220 Acreage today.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
Life is full of occasions, some planned, some unexpected, some profound. At Faith Regional Physician Services OBGYN, our goal is to keep you in good health, to be there for all of life's moments. Together, we'll create the best health solutions for your symptoms and lifestyle with compassionate care tailored to you. Faith Regional Physician Services OBGYN, here for you no matter the occasion.
Wayne State is the college of choice.
Smart choice. Sound choice.
Natural choice.
Strong choice. Original choice. Bold choice.
Affordable choice.
With over 130 programs of study, Wayne State College is the
first choice. First choice.
First choice.
For students who want an excellent education at an affordable cost. Get started at ExploreWayneStateCollege.com.
A community is connections, friends, family, schools, teams. At Allo, we're honored to be a part of your community. As members of the community, we're committed to ensuring people stay connected to the services they need. That's why we're participating in the FCC's Affordable Connectivity Program. All qualifying customers get free 100 megabit per second internet or a $30 discount on all other internet packages. Go to allofiber.com/ACP to learn more.
Whether you play on a field or play on a court or are running to greatness, during the game and after the game, during the wins and during the losses, Agri City Insurance has you covered. Here to help you ensure what matters most. Agri City Insurance.
Halftime at Memorial Stadium and Bob Cunningham Field on Hall of Fame Day at Wayne State College. Wildcats on top of Upper Iowa 35-7, and it has been really a clinic by the Wildcats offensively, especially in the second quarter, but also just a strong performance from both lines up front so far, Lou Siefker.
Yeah, they've been very impressive. I think if you're Wayne State, you feel pretty pleased that you've been able to run the ball like that. Halftime, 193 yards rushing on 27 carries. That'll win you a lot of games, and then certainly the 196 yards passing. Very, very efficient offensive performance, 35 points to go with that for Wayne State. And then defensively, Upper Iowa has kind of gone away from the running game because it's not working. 11 carries, negative 7 yards in that first half, and some of that's on sacks. But great pressure from up front by Wayne State. It really disrupted any hope to run the football, and then only 103 yards passing for Upper Iowa. So statistically, is much like it's in favor of the Wayne State Wildcats.
Yeah, just a dominating performance through and through. You look at the number of first downs, that's the number that stands out, Lou. 19-5. That is just unreal. And 389-96, as you mentioned. 47 plays, nearly twice as many plays as what Upper Iowa is running. That's just a fantastic performance all the way around. If you're Coach McLaughlin running that defense for Wayne State, or if you're Logan Masters and Colin Prosser running that offense, I don't think you could just ask for a whole lot more on Hall of Fame Day if you're wearing black and gold.
No, I think Upper Iowa did have that one drive off the short field, had the ball, I believe, at the 48 of Wayne State to start, and a great pass from Overstreet to Ewald for that touchdown, that deep fade in that corner, excellent play, but they have done nothing since then. And, sometimes you got to take your hat off to the opponent. They made a great play and scored the touchdown, but they have not been able to do anything consistently on either side of the ball. And so, yeah, you're right. Wayne State's got to be pretty happy. Time of possession in their favor. Everything's been in their favor. And not only has Nick Bone played well, he's got 72 rushing yards. He's 12 of 20 passing, 196 and 3 touchdowns. And, oh, by the way, the block of the game on the touchdown run by Watkins just laid his defender out. You got to love a quarterback that does that. And Watkins very much did. Went over and thanked his quarterback for that great block.
Darrell Overstreet Jr. technically has a better completion percentage than Nick Bowen. He's 9 of 13 so far today, while Bowen 12 of 20. But it's that big play potential that Wayne State's got that it just feels like Upper Iowa doesn't have on the field today.
Well, more weapons for Wayne State. You see Mason Lee, what a great first half he's had. 4 catches, 86 yards and a touchdown. And he's been masterful of getting open against that zone for Upper Iowa, and Nick Bone has just been delivering strike after strike. Upper Iowa, outside of that pass to Ewald for the touchdown, really has not had anything of note. The 9 of 13 for Overstreet, only 103 yards, and he's been sacked 3 times. So they've been able to pressure him. We talked about that in the outset. Wayne State wants to pressure this quarterback. The only thing that Wayne State hasn't done in this game is to force the turnover, but they haven't needed it. They've been able to control Upper Iowa's offense, get the football back, and score when they get possession.
We're going to have highlights from that first half coming up in just a few moments, but first we'll take another break. We'll be back with more after this. You're watching college football on News Channel Nebraska.
When you want to wear your pride on your sleeve, true Nebraskans turn to NebraskaScreenPrinting.com for the latest screen printing and embroidery design. View hundreds of designs or upload your own for any school activity, sport, booster club, or business. We can do it all in whatever color your pride comes in. Get your group order in for your event or team at NebraskaScreenPrinting.com today for a fast and convenient turnaround. We're custom sports screen printing and embroidery at NebraskaScreenPrinting.com. Proud to be Nebraskan.
When it comes to your auto partner, there is no house divided when you choose Woodhouse. 18 brands, one team, a winning experience every time.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
NCN Sports is sponsored by Certified Piedmontese Beef, real Nebraska beef. Norfolk Auto Center, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple always. And by Plumbing and Electric. Looking for country living? Contact 220 Acreage today.
Rheumatology is a subspecialty of internal medicine. It deals with systemic rheumatic disease. These are also known as inflammatory arthritis or autoimmune disease. I want my patients to know that I'm here to help them, and patient care is one of my priorities. I work closely with the patients and to come up with a personalized care plan so that we can help them to improve their health and quality of life. I'm Mukund Kumar. I'm a rheumatologist at Faith Regional.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're here at the grill, waiting for the flip.
He has a great hot lie here on the grill. Looks like he is going with the tongs here, Jim. A great choice.
Timing is everything.
Nailed it!
A flip for the ages.
What a flip. Perfect marks. I'd take a slice out of that one.
Certified Piedmontese, real Nebraska beef. So tender and dripping in flavor, you won't believe a steak this good can be shipped right to your front door.
For the streamers, for the gamers, for the long-distance video call makers, for the ones who don't want to miss out on the fiber things in life, they have Allo. Allo Fiber Internet keeps you connected with fast, reliable service and 24/7 support, so you can always get the ultimate experience. No hidden fees, no expiration dates, and no contracts. Experience the fiber things in life with Allo's super fast internet. Visit us at allofiber.com/fiberthings.
At Unity Eye Centers in Norfolk, their focus is on you. As a leading provider of optometry with advanced diagnostics and equipment, they can ensure your eye health is their top priority. A quick glance at their frame area will show you that you can have style as well as function, with plenty of frames to choose from. Their mission is to educate patients and provide cutting-edge technology and exceptional service with personalized care. Come to Unity Eye Centers in Norfolk to clearly see the difference. Why? Because your eyes deserve it.
Halftime in beautiful Wayne, America. The Wayne State fans, the Wayne State band celebrating a big first half for the Wildcats. Wayne State on top of Upper Iowa 35-7. Alongside Lou Siefker, I'm Pat Jansen. Nolan Hoffman on the sidelines with us as well. Let's take a look at how we got to this point with some halftime highlights. Wayne State had a bit of a rocky start at certain points as there was a strip sack. Wildcats able to recover. And do they recover as Nick Bowen eventually finds a wide open Trevor Marshall for a 33-yard touchdown pass, putting the Wildcats on top 7-0. Upper Iowa did respond with a touchdown of their own. Overstreet goes to Ewald on a beautiful pass to tie the game up at 7-7. It looked like we were going to have a barn burner here at this point, but Wayne State just took over as this time the Wildcats go to Trey Miller, a 5-yard touchdown pass from Bowen to put Wayne State on top 14-7. Then Anthony Watkins goes to the house with a little bit of help from Nick Bowen, just crushing the defender. Wildcats go on top 21-7. Everybody getting a little celebration there. Then Watkins goes to the outside, this time to the right for his second straight touchdown, putting Wayne State on top 28-7 with 3:07 left to play in the first half. Wayne State added one more as they go to Mason Lee for 25 yards. Lee doing a lot of the work himself, takes some contact at the end, but it doesn't matter as Wayne State goes on top 35-7 at halftime. Wildcats looking to strengthen their case for a playoff bid, and they are doing just that today, leading 35-7 at halftime. I want to thank our halftime sponsor, Certified Piedmontese Beef, Italian heritage bred, Nebraska-raised perfection, lean, tender, delicious, and you can get it shipped right to your doorstep anywhere in the country. It could be here in Nebraska. It could be elsewhere. You could be in Seattle, Portland, Maine, Tampa, Florida, you name it, Lou. All sorts of places where you can get that Certified Piedmontese beef. It's healthy, powerful nutrition to play at your best. Wayne State has clearly had a lot of that today. You can order it at cpbeef.com.
I was going to say Wayne State is playing like they had some Piedmontese beef before the game because they are playing well. They're happy. They look to be well fed, and I'm jealous of them because I didn't get Piedmontese beef before the game. But I'm thinking maybe after the game I'll go home and grill up a couple steaks.
Yeah, we got a couple boxes of that earlier this season. I get the sense yours might be gone already.
Yeah, I probably should have shared it with my family. I feel bad.
Well, it has been absolute domination on either end of the field for Wayne State. CP Beef or no, right now, Wayne State outgaining Upper Iowa 389-96. We'll see if Wayne State can continue that domination after halftime. Plus, we've got some interviews coming your way as Wayne State recognizing Hall of Fame Day here in Wayne, America. But we'll take a quick break and be back with more after this. You're watching college football on News Channel Nebraska.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. If your business needs help financing big-ticket items, visit GoCurrency.com for details. And by Custom Sports. Represent your school and look good doing it with Custom Sports.
At Elkhorn Valley Bank, we believe in local. It's something we live by. It's something we're proud of. It's helping our neighbors grow like they've helped us. Supporting families, investing in lives, and creating prosperity. Local means making decisions that grow and improve surrounding communities we call home. Investing in our nonprofits and giving back. Elkhorn Valley Bank and Trust, great for you, great for your community.
Let your next adventure take flight in Sarpy County, Nebraska for some high-flying fun. Legendary family adventures. Out-of-this-world shopping. Star-studded evenings. And award-winning experiences. Our flights are never canceled. Stay, play, and plan your getaway at GoSarpy.com.
Wayne State is the college of choice.
Smart choice. Sound choice.
Natural choice.
Strong choice. Original choice. Bold choice.
Affordable choice.
With over 130 programs of study, Wayne State College is the
first choice. First choice.
First choice.
For students who want an excellent education at an affordable cost. Get started at ExploreWayneStateCollege.com.
You're watching Wayne State football on News Channel Nebraska. The halftime show is brought to you by Wayne State College, devoted to student success for more than 100 years.
Halftime in Wayne, America. Wayne State on top of Upper Iowa, 35-7. And Wayne State right now in the act of honoring a bunch of greats. It is Hall of Fame Day here at Wayne State College. Among the inductees, Richard Daniel, a Papillion La Vista graduate who was one of the top defensive ends in Wayne State history. He's down there among the rest of the Hall of Fame class. Nicole Guntrod, who was part of some fantastic women's basketball teams. And she was a transfer from UNK, a Kearney native who could shoot from anywhere. She really got that Wayne State women's basketball tradition started on some of those teams coached by Ryan Williams. Of course, Coach Williams now coaching at Colorado State. His assistant coach, Rico Burkett, who was the men's coach at Wayne State at that time, they just stayed together. They were on the road the whole time. Katie Hughes Morris, who was a standout rotation volleyball player at Wayne State from 2012 to 2015. She's from Seward. Also Lexi Luce Lenahan, another fantastic athlete, being inducted into the Hall of Fame. She was a 4-year starting center fielder for the Wildcat softball team when Wayne State really had their golden era as a softball program. Also Reggie and Marilyn Yates, who've been contributors for this Wayne State program for years and years. And the 2010 volleyball team that finished 26-4 overall and was 17-3 in the NSIC. They made the Division II national tournament. That was the first Wayne State volleyball team to ever be voted number 1 in the national poll. Of course, the second one, this year's Wayne State team. Yeah. Mentioned that Wayne State team that made the Elite Eight. They won 26 matches. That's how many the Wayne State women's volleyball team has already won this year. They're 26-1. They lost a 5-set heartbreaker last week to number 5 Southwest Minnesota State in Marshall, Minnesota. Somehow that dropped Wayne State to number 3 behind Concordia St. Paul, a team that has 2 losses, both of which were sweeps at the hand of Wayne State. Right. I don't understand polls sometimes, Lou.
I don't either. Now, granted, Concordia St. Paul is a bit of a dynasty, and maybe they get a little bit more credit. I don't know. But Wayne State, I had a chance to see them against Augustana this past Tuesday, and that's a heck of a team. That team could make a long run here in the national playoffs. Very, very solid on every aspect of the court. Very, very good volleyball team.
And nearly entirely from the state of Nebraska. This is just a state that really knows how to do volleyball, Lou.
Yeah, it's a volleyball state. I've been saying that. I mean, You've got not only certainly the University of Nebraska, always very, very good, but Wayne State it was number one in the polls, and then you got UNK, who's very good. I mean, lots of teams. Creighton University is very good. Lots of teams around the state that are solid volleyball programs.
That central region in the NCAA Division II volleyball tournament could be absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
6 of the top 8 teams in the country are from that region. That's just wild. That is unfathomable. That is dominance. Speaking of, Wayne State looking to continue theirs as we get into the second half. Alex Powder's kick goes through the end zone, and Upper Iowa, trailing 35-7, will start the second half from their own 25. Be interested to see how the rest of the NSIC is shaking out today. I know you had a few scores, but I know you also put them away. I threw you on the spot there, Lou Seeker.
No, still got some here. Minnesota Duluth, one of the better teams there in the north, 30-0 lead over Minot State. University of Mary over at Concordia St. Paul, 10-0. Both of those are actually the Mary score is in the third quarter. We'll give you some more here in just a second.
Overstreet from under center this time. Fakes the handoff, goes right side, looking for a receiver, and Jacob Bird breaks that up. It was the tight end who he was going for, the guy who had the long reception earlier for the Peacocks, Isaiah Gray, but Bird just draped all over him, knocks it away.
Probably the score I think most people around here are interested in. How about this second quarter, just starting the second quarter, Minnesota State 21, Sioux Falls 7.
Wow. That's a Minnesota State team that Wayne State technically only beat by 8, but they really controlled that game throughout. It was a late touchdown that made it a lot closer as the Peacocks trying to get something going on the ground. They pick up 5 yards there. That'll get them close to 0. It gets them to -1 rushing for the day, as getting the carry that time was Barry.
Yeah, struggling to run the football. I think -1. That was like my GPA in college, I think.
You snuck up on me with that one there, Lou. Overstreet from the shotgun on third down.
Oh.
He's got Kowalczyk bearing down on him, throws high, and there were just as many Wildcats as there were Peacocks in that area, and it'll bring up a fourth down punting situation just like that for the men in powder blue.
Well, Upper Iowa has really struggled with the pressure. They have not been able to pick up the blitzes very well. Kowalczyk went through there unencumbered and nearly got a sack and did disrupt that play. So another third down failure for Upper Iowa. Wayne State getting the ball back.
The punt is away. Low, a bit wobbly, fielded by Bird at the 33. Gets away from a tackler, but not the second and third. He gets to the 40, and it's going to bring up 1st and 10 for this Wildcat offense. We'll see if the men in gold can keep this thing humming.
Yeah, they've been very good offensively in this ball game. I think if you're Coach Masters here and you're challenging the guys here, let's put another one on a scoreboard. Let's leave no doubt. You know, Upper Iowa has been a reasonably good second half team this year. And as we recall from last year, it was 21-7. Upper Iowa came back. You want to put some points on the board and erase any doubt. Look out.
This time it's Watkins taking it to the house just like that. I may have been a touch premature, but holy cow, it does not take long for that Wayne State team to just turn things loose.
Watkins just shot through an enormous hole on the left side of that offensive line for Wayne State. You got Jansen at tackle and Graham left guard over there, and we'll see it again.
I looked down for just a second to look at the third down stats, and just like that, Watkins was nearly gone.
I think you had the guard pulling from the right side there, and Watkins cut inside.
They go back to him on the ground, and he'll get in for the touchdown. It took a minute and a half for Wayne State to scratch onto that scoreboard once again. 41-7, third touchdown of the day for Anthony Watkins. They reward him for the long run.
Yeah, it does not take long at all. Wayne State putting on a clinic right now offensively. And nearly 400 yards of offense at halftime, and they tack on a whole bunch more on that drive.
Up at 450 yards of total offense now as Powder's on for the extra point. It is up, and it is good. 42-7, Wayne State on top of Upper Iowa with 13:30 left to play third quarter. Back with more after this on News Channel Nebraska.
We knew our son was having some speech issues, and we contacted the school to get him evaluated through the school, and he did not qualify. And so I decided to see if the hospital could do anything for him, because I just really didn't want him to form a habit that was hard to break.
So for Max, he came in with a phonological disorder and an articulation disorder. And so his was really unique. It wasn't one that we would expect him to outgrow in a year. So that's why we could treat him right away.
It went awesome. He loved speech. He loved coming to speech.
Well, speech therapy looks a little bit different for everybody. So some people need speech for what you would imagine. Speaking, being understood, being more confident.
It was really kind of fun to see the increase in his confidence as he was speaking to people, because he knew he was more understandable and people could communicate with him better.
When our son needed speech therapy,
we had faith.
Third quarter brought to you by the Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau. Play, visit, meet, and compete at www.lincoln.org. Powders tees it up. We've said that plenty of times today with the Wildcats having scored 6 touchdowns. That one just sneaks into the end zone. He'd been pounding them through. Upper Iowa let it land, and it just snuck across the goal line.
You go back to that touchdown, that run there by Watkins. I believe it was Cobbs, the right guard, that pulled and created that lane for Watkins to run through. Watkins cut back and got through that hole. And what a well-executed running play. Watkins, 123 yards right now and 3 touchdowns. A lot of football left. We'll see how many more carries he gets.
Cobbs, the big lad from Mineola, Florida. Overstreet sends the man in motion, handoff, nothing doing as Barry is absolutely buried, and it's going to be second and long for the Peacocks.
Yeah, I think the operative word right now is long. It's a long afternoon. It's the second and long. There's been a lot of long yardage situations for Upper Iowa. That's not been very conducive to a pleasurable afternoon here for the Peacocks.
Because one thing they don't do is really go long.
Right.
Overstreet from the shotgun, looking left and nearly picked off by Javon France. He jumped that route and batted it away. And once again, it's a third and long for an Upper Iowa team that's 0 for 6 on third down today.
One thing you try to do offensively is to get the defense off balance. Right now, Wayne State is reading everything that Upper Iowa is doing. They're in place, they're in position, and the Peacocks have just not been able to move the ball, period, since that first quarter.
98 yards for Upper Iowa on 29 plays compared to 449 on 49 for Wayne State. Overstreet from the shotgun, pressure coming, and nearly picked off by Kowalczyk. They were trying to dump that over the defense on a screen, but Kowalczyk skied and nearly came down with it.
Yeah, Kowalczyk read that play. We talked about Wayne State kind of reading the Upper Iowa playbook right now, and Kowalczyk read that screenplay perfectly, almost comes up with the interception.
The Sioux Falls native really showing good football instincts as Upper Iowa to punt this one away once again. Bird standing near midfield. Kick is away. Bird will call for the fair catch right at the midfield marker. And Wayne State with another short field. Let's take a look at that near interception on the Madison County Bank instant replay. Kowalczyk wanted it. This Wayne State team smells blood, Lou.
Yeah, they're looking to kind of put the finishing touches on this thing. And they got a great chance here at the ball at midfield. And the way this offense is clicking, certainly the Upper Iowa defense wearing down at this point. Been on the field a good chunk of this ball game. Time of possession, 19 minutes and 22 seconds to 12:53 in favor of Wayne State.
Handoff Elder around the end, trying to. He gets past the 45 to the 43 of Upper Iowa, going to bring up second and short. And I think the key things here for Wayne State probably, Lou, and you don't want to talk about this too much, but stay healthy and stay in rhythm. You don't want to start to fall asleep and develop some bad habits going into the Sioux Falls game.
Yeah, certainly. You want to finish this thing right. I think if you're Coach Masters, you'd like to have the starters out by the fourth quarter. They have a chance to do that here. If you get another score here, you're going to start seeing some subs come in the ball game.
We're not even 3 minutes into the third quarter yet as Bowen fakes the handoff, now looking deep.
Perfect.
Going for Johnson. Hits the home run ball, but Johnson can't hang on.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Jaden Johnson's going to regret that one later when they go back to watch film.
Yeah. And I tell you what, Jaden Johnson, he does not drop those. That was a rare occurrence. And I don't know how many times we've said that this year. How many, if they got a guy draped all over him, that's an easy catch for Johnson, right? I mean, but at wide open, those are tough. He knows he's wide open. And sometimes when you're that wide open, you think about it too much. I wonder if that's not what happened, just too much cognitive process there instead of just catching the football. But Johnson's not one that tends to drop passes like that.
Kaiser cuts past the 40, picks up a first down for the Wildcats as the offense continues to hum along. And while Wayne State continues to motor along on the offense, let's send it down to the field with some folks who've had plenty of success themselves. Nolan Hoffman has one of them, as he's got some of our Hall of Fame inductees. Nolan.
One of the new Hall of Fame inductees at Wayne State College here, Richard Daniel, who played defensive end here. And what does it mean to you to now be in the Hall of Fame here at Wayne State after you played here years ago?
I mean, so much. I'm not sure how the Hall of Fame gets chosen or who picks who, but it's really cool to people thought that I was deserving, and it's great to be amongst other athletes that are just amazing people that I look up to, and it's really great to be a part of that same kind of group. So.
And describe to the viewers, what was your time like here?
My time here was great, it was full of meeting lifelong friends, working out, 5 o'clock in the morning, all the sprints and all the weights lifting and all that kind of stuff. But it was really a special time in my life. Playing a game I love, getting to compete at a high level, and again, making just awesome relationships with teammates, coaches, and those kind of things. So.
How much has the program changed in your opinion?
I mean, a lot. I didn't play here. I didn't have turf when I was playing, and everything around the whole campus looks so amazing. And the team here has been just killing as far as, pushing the school forward and renovating stuff. And it's been great. So it's really cool to come around and see old faces and see things just getting better. So.
And what are you up to now in your life?
So right now I am living in Omaha, work for a company called Fidelity Investments, and then I have my daughter here, Macy. That's about it right now. Pretty boring. So yeah, yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
I got you. And also, what do you think she thinks about you getting inducted to Hall of Fame?
She has no idea what's going on. I think she keeps asking me, am I famous or not, and I don't think so, but I'll tell her I am. Yeah, so that's about it right now.
And the performance here today, obviously a really good performance by Wayne State College. How do you think the season's going to play out here? Obviously, they have a really hard game next week, tough game against Sioux Falls. What do you think about the Wayne State Wildcats this year and the path moving forward to hopefully get to the playoffs?
Oh, I mean, I haven't been so excited for a Wayne State team in a long time. They're just killing it. They're doing good, and it's great to see Logan and Lomac and Prost and all of them take this team to this kind of level. It's so cool to see that, and it's pretty cool to see them dominate or doing so well, and looking forward to seeing them in playoffs. It's kind of seems like within our grasp, like the first time in a few years. So. Yeah.
And, finally, Logan Masters, his first year as the head coach. What are your impressions of him so far?
He's great. I mean, I've played with Logan before, and so I've known him for a few years, and he's a great competitor, obviously, and got a lot of respect for him, and obviously he's doing well as a head coach, and looking forward to seeing what he does more. So.
Well, thanks so much for the time today. Congratulations on getting inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it so much. And Pat, let's send it back up to you.
Thank you very much, Nolan, and thanks, Richard Daniel. During that interview, Anthony Watkins just piling up more stats. The touchdown reception from Nick Bowen, and then the extra point by Alex Powders, and it is 49-7 in a game that was at one point, Lou Siefker, 7-7.
Yeah, it was close for, a couple of minutes. And here you go. Watkins in the flat there, wide open. Nobody over there for Upper Iowa. That's too easy. And Watkins doing what he's been doing all afternoon, scoring touchdowns. That's number 4.
That one, the first one that was not on the ground, as the others were. But you just saw Wayne State players standing around wondering where the Peacocks were. My goodness. Logan Masters and his offensive coordinator Colin Prosser are just dialing things up today, because that was a touchdown drive that followed a dropped touchdown that was a well-designed play, a well-run route, and a well-thrown ball just dropped in the end zone, but it didn't bother Wayne State. Wildcats now up 49-7, and Powders will blast this one through the end zone, and just like that, here we go once again with Upper Iowa starting from their own 25. Wayne State on top, 49-7. We've still got 9:48 left to play third quarter. That's how dominant this Wayne State performance has been, Lou.
It has been frighteningly efficient. 499 yards right now of offense. A lot of football left to be played. Upper Iowa with a total of 98 yards, so it's been very lopsided there. Wayne State even had a fourth down conversion there on that last touchdown drive, so Wayne State just doing everything right now.
And they've got their ears pinned back defensively, it looks like, as Overstreet takes the shotgun snap. He's got a little bit of pressure, connects with his receiver, the running back on the sideline. It'll be just a short gain, though, for the Peacocks, as it was Phillips hauling that one in, maybe a yard for Upper Iowa. And that conservative play calling eventually has to kind of give way to trying to make some effort toward making a comeback, I would assume.
Right, they're just not they're not moving the ball at all. And unfortunately, that's just your defense is getting completely worn down. You got to try to put together some first downs at least and run some clock, give your defense a break.
Hand off to Phillips up the middle, and he shows good vision, gets out to about the 33-yard line. That may be the best rush of the day for Upper Iowa, and it's actually got them above zero rushing yards.
Yeah, just trying to keep their head above water on that rushing side.
Sacks have something to do with that in the college football statistics, but that's a tough stat to look at if you're wearing baby blue. Hand off to Phillips once again. Big collision right at the first down sticks. My goodness. And I think they're going to go ahead and give him the first down. That may not be the longest run, but that may be the best run of the day for Upper Iowa as we take a look at this big collision.
Jordan Porter, the free safety, came up in run support. Yeah, that one, you felt that one up here.
Whew. First time all day that Upper Iowa converts a third down. It's going to be tougher, though, this time as they get buried behind the line of scrimmage on first down. It was Trent Rasmussen, the Rockville native, who buried him for the loss. They try and get Jahani Wright to that edge, but it did not work there.
Didn't work at all. Another negative play for Upper Iowa. I think that's got to be probably, I mean, as well as the offense has played, I think the most impressive thing today is the defensive side of the ball and how many negative plays that they have thrown onto Upper Iowa.
2nd and 15. Handoff back to Phillips once again. He'll pick up most of the lost yardage. We'll bring up 3rd down and 11 for an Upper Iowa team that is 1 of 8 on 3rd downs.
You sure like a first down here for Upper Iowa, as we just mentioned. Just defense not getting any rest here. Offense has not been able to move the ball.
4 wide receivers for Overstreet on 3rd and 11. He's looking deep this time. And France with great coverage all the way down the field. There was no separation whatsoever for Upper Iowa. And that just sums up this day for both squads.
Yeah, France played that perfectly. Great position on that coverage and does a great job to shield the receiver off and then turn and look for the football. He really was the only one that had a chance to catch that.
Yeah, they were going for Jay Ford, and I think you see right now why Upper Iowa hasn't really tried to stretch things vertically. Because even their long touchdown pass, there was great coverage as the punt is away on 4th down. Line drive fielded by Bird, and Wayne State will start at their own 35-yard line with a chance to get over the half-century mark.
Well, we'll see how soon Wayne State starts to have mass substitutions. Certainly Tavion Willis is a guy that we'd like to see. He's in there. He's talk about an excellent backup quarterback.
Yeah, he started last season as the number 1 quarterback. He's the number 1 out there right now.
Yep. Yeah, that's got to be discouraging. Get Bone out of the game. Here comes Willis.
Handoff to Elder left side, and he is just upended, and that'll be a loss on the play. Big tackle from Dion Duncan, the defensive back from Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah, that was a hit. He got low. Perfect for him there. Duncan just got low, drove through the ball carrier there, and flipped him over.
Let's take a look at it once again on the Madison County Bank instant replay, and Elder went airborne.
I have to fill out an accident report after that.
Oh, fake the handoff. Willis will keep it himself. I think Kaiser thought he was going to end up with the ball. He turned around looking a little surprised. A little shoving after the play, but it'll bring up 3rd down and long. We haven't seen a lot of these for Wayne State today.
No, they have been very efficient in the entire ball game. And 3rd downs today, Wayne State 6 of 9 on 3rd downs. Upper Iowa only 1 of 9 on 3rd down. So I think you'll take it. You'll take 6 out of 9 every single time, every single game if you're Wayne State.
Willis will go from the shotgun. Looks down the middle. Complete. Schmaderer. I beg your pardon. That actually was Marshall who caught the initial touchdown for Wayne State, who's had himself a nice little day.
Yeah, another young player that's starting to get some time. Trevor Marshall, the redshirt freshman from Omaha. That's a strike from Willis, so great pass. One-on-one coverage. Marshall beats his man, and Willis gets him the football.
Just calm, cool, and collected, whipping that football down the middle. Handoff Kaiser, trying to find his way left side, cuts back up about 30-yard line. That's been what's the most impressive part of these Wayne State runners today, whether it be Kaiser or Watkins or Bowen, is the ability to just kind of find that space. It didn't look like there was a lot there, but he was able to pick up about 7 yards and make it a nice 2nd and short for the Wildcats.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think they've done a good job. I really think this offensive line as well been very dominant in this ball game. They've done a great job holding their blocks. Really everybody has, from receivers to running backs to offensive linemen. Great job just blocking throughout this game.
And that'll be approaching another first down for the Wildcats. As there's a little bit of testiness from Upper Iowa at this point in the game. I think that's part of why you want to start to see your starters get off the field just a little bit too.
Yeah, as you mentioned, you had some big games coming up here, and none bigger than next week against Sioux Falls. You don't want to have anybody that you're really counting on getting hurt when you're already up 42 points.
Forgy, the freshman, gets the carry, shakes a tackler 25, and there may be a horse collar at the 20, although they might just be ruling that's jersey. But still that same kind of risk when you grab a guy from behind up in that territory. But Forgy, the freshman, continues moving the football for Wayne State.
Yeah, he's starting to get some time, Forgy. Saw him last week against Southwest Minnesota State, another guy. Named several guys like that that are kind of proving themselves, getting a chance to get in the football game.
Sending a song signal is Forgy. Apologies for the pun. Clock running. No, I beg your pardon. Now it is at 3:40. Third quarter, Wayne State on top 49-7. There's movement on the line. That might have been Upper Iowa, although they are pointing their finger back at Wayne State.
Some more testiness out there. I think you're gonna have offsides on that left side of the defensive line. Although Upper Iowa, nope, I'm wrong.
I thought Upper
flinched.
Iowa induced that, but they go ahead and ding that right side of the Wayne State offensive line. I believe it's Terrell Tompkins, the Hickman native. Wayne State trying to go over 50 points for the first time since 2019 when they hung 62 on Upper Iowa. Last time they were over 40 points was earlier this season as they go to Forgy this time. He's going to pick up most of the penalty yardage, bring up second and about 10 for Wayne State. The last time Wayne State scored 40, we were watching this game here on News Channel Nebraska. They hung 41 on Minnesota State, a team that is right now playing very well against Sioux Falls. So that just shows you it's not just the competition. This Wayne State team can do a lot offensively.
Yeah, this team that's been very impressive offensively this season, and I like the way the defense has played today. They're really coming into that well-rounded ball club that you want to see.
Oh boy, Willis, not any time for him there. He is buried quickly, dropped for a big loss, and it's going to be third down and long for the Wildcats from the Upper Iowa 21. There has been one instance where they got into the red zone and didn't get points. They're trying to avoid that same thing here. That was early in the game when they put together a solid drive laced with a few mistakes, and then Alex Powders in that blustery wind did not convert the field goal.
Coming into this game, they've been very good in the red zone. 24 out of 27 trips to the red zone have ended in points. And you want to be efficient when you have those opportunities.
Third down and 17 for Willis and the Wildcats. Slings it toward the goal line. Caught!
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. Ashton Schmaderer goes up and hauls it in. Sophomore from Bennington. And it's going to be first and goal for the Wildcats.
Well, you see, you got some real talented upperclassmen like Watkins, like Mason Lee. But as you mentioned earlier, Pat, this is a young team all the way around, and you see the talent. What a catch, and another great pass. This time Willis throws the strike right over the top of the defense. Schmaderer catches it with the guy all over him, and now a touchdown, Wayne State.
Back to the ground they go with Kaiser, and why not? Wildcats hang 50 on Upper Iowa, and we've still got a minute 13 left in the third quarter.
Very impressive ball club here today. Boy, any worries about a trap game, any worries about an upset before the Sioux Falls games next week has completely been erased. It's been a dominant performance by the Wildcats.
I think you hit it on the nose earlier, Lou. It's pretty hard to consider it a trap game when the team upsets you a year ago as Powders bangs this through. It's 56-7. Wayne State on top. Back with more after this on News Channel Nebraska.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
If you've ever tried to grow something, you know the time and attention it takes. Imagine growing crops that feed our community and nation. Dawn to dusk, farm families will work tirelessly to complete the season's work. What began as seed has grown into bountiful crops spanning as far as the eye can see. The fruits of this labor benefit our community and our nation's economy. During this harvest season, Madison County Bank offers all farmers our sincere thanks and appreciation for all that you do.
.292 yards on the ground for Wayne State. The Wildcat fans loving it, even if they look a little subdued right now. But Wayne State on top, 56-7. Not really the need for a rowdy crowd at this point. Wayne State just soaking this one in and enjoying it.
Well, Pat, I got an interesting score update here for you. Upset alert in Sioux Falls right now. Minute 42 to go before halftime. Minnesota State 31. Sioux Falls 14.
31 is what Minnesota State scored against Wayne State. Excuse me, actually, they scored 33 in that one. But that took a long Hail Mary toward the end of the game. Wayne State really controlled that game on homecoming as Overstreet has a man, but unable to haul it in was Jay Ford.
Now, if Sioux Falls loses this game, I mean, is that a good thing for Wayne State? Because that'd be 2 losses in a row. Sioux Falls is going to end with going to lose 3 in a row. They would play that game in Sioux Falls. That'll be very difficult, I think, for Wayne State. Or is it a good thing because now Sioux Falls maybe not playing with the confidence they were before? I don't know. I don't think Wayne State cares. I think they feel pretty good about themselves at this point.
It does add some shine to that Minnesota State win from homecoming week.
Yeah, that Minnesota State's a good football team. They win this, they're 7-2. And Sioux Falls would fall to 7-2. Winona State.
That might be the best South team.
Yeah.
To be completely honest with you. And Wayne State was with them. And it just everything came apart in the fourth quarter of that one.
Winona State, that's easy for me to say. Winona State 14-0 over Augustana at halftime.
That's an interesting one as well. Overstreet looking right, and just not a lot of communication there between Overstreet and his receiver Wright, but also good coverage again from the Wildcats. Just down the field, as it was Adrian Pigeon that time, who will likely occupy Javon France's spot next year in the starting lineup. And another punting situation for the Peacocks.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of this. And another broken record is that Wayne State likely gets pretty good field position.
Punt is away. It's a low-line drive. It's fielded at the 44 by Bird. And the Cats will send the offense back out on the field. And it looks like I see Nick Bowen heading toward that huddle. Well, I see Willis now as well. So Bowen just hanging out with his teammates. You mentioned it several times, Lou. This has been about as balanced of effort as you can get from Wayne State. It's about to get a little less balanced as Wayne State going to try and run down some clock, I would imagine, but 292 yards on the ground, 277 through the air.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do if you're Wayne. The way Wayne State runs their offense, the more balanced you are, the better that Wayne State's going to be, and they've been extremely balanced here this afternoon.
Wayne State with some big carries for Forgy today, the freshman, one of the few who's not redshirting, and he's added a little bit of extra spice to the offense. Not that they need it. Wayne State on top 56-7 after 3 quarters of play. Let's take a break and be back with the 4th quarter after this on News Channel Nebraska.
At Unity Eye Centers in Norfolk, their focus is on you. As the leading provider of optometry with advanced diagnostics and equipment, they can ensure your eye health is their top priority. A quick glance at their frame area will show you that you can have style as well as function, with plenty of frames to choose from. Their mission is to educate patients and provide cutting-edge technology and exceptional service with personalized care. Come to Unity Eye Centers in Norfolk to clearly see the difference. Why? Because your eyes deserve it.
When the game wraps up or even before kickoff, our community welcomes you with open arms. The Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau is happy to have you here, and we want to show you what we're all about. From wide open spaces to music, shopping, entertainment, and more, there is always something for you to discover in our city. Stop by the Visitors Center at 7th and P in the Haymarket or visit Lincoln.org. The Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau is a proud supporter of high school athletics.
Hard to keep up with all the touchdowns because there have been a lot of them, but Wayne State on top 56-7 over Upper Iowa. Last time Wayne State had over 300 yards rushing was in 2019, but they're just 8 yards away from doing that this time around, although there's a penalty against the Wildcats. That obviously won't affect the yardage total. If anything, it will give them more potential yardage to gain.
Exactly. It's all in the it's all in the game plan there.
My goodness. I think if you're Logan Masters, Lou, you could not have asked for a better performance a week ahead of a big game as the Wildcats go to Forgy. Not a lot there for him. That's going to bring up fairly lengthy 3rd down for the Wildcats.
I think Wayne State is a team that believes in themselves right now. I mean, you see how confident they've been in this ball game, and that's good to see because you come off a couple of weeks ago a loss to Augustana, game that you felt like you could have won. Had a great comeback, took the lead, and then lost with 9 seconds to go. But this team, I think, is you just see the mindset, I think, a little bit different than this Wayne State has been in quite a while.
Willis avoids the sack. Now rolling right side, tucks it, 45 out of bounds, short of midfield, and a rare punt perhaps upcoming for Wayne State, Lou?
Yeah. Haven't seen too much of Alex Powders punting the football today.
We've seen a lot of him kicking extra points as we see Willis avoid the pressure on the Madison County Bank instant replay. Got to keep the punting foot warm, I suppose. Powders gets rid of it. It's high, wobbly, and caught in traffic by Wright. And Upper Iowa will start at their own 23-yard line. Don't forget to stick around for our top plays after the game. Brought to you by Currency.
You know, I think, Pat, with the Northern Sun Conference, just a few weeks ago, it looked like Augustana, Sioux Falls were the class of the league. Now Winona State has stepped up there. Minnesota State playing very well, obviously beating Sioux Falls right now, and then Wayne State. I mean, I don't know that you have any real favorite at this point.
Overstreet completes to Ford on the right side. And that's a first down for Upper Iowa. And that's been the most common situation for Upper Iowa to get a first down. It definitely hasn't been on third down conversions. It's been on those first down plays, but they've been just getting behind schedule most drives.
Yeah, they've been in third and long a lot today. It's one of the reasons that they have struggled on third down conversions, only 1 of 10 in this ballgame.
Overstreet trying to pick up a consolation drive for the Peacocks. Got good protection going down the field, but too strong, as once again he was looking for right, but good coverage all the way down the field. Ushering him was Jordan Porter, who we saw with a big contact earlier in the game. 12:44 left to play, fourth quarter. Wayne State trying to salt this one away, 56-7. Upper Iowa trying to keep us here for a little while.
I mentioned the third down conversions. How about Wayne State? 8 of 12.
Wow.
I think you'll take 66% on third down conversions. You're going to win a lot of games doing that.
And one of those, I believe 2 of those failed third down conversions were with the second unit offensively, as Upper Iowa goes back to the ground with Barry, and there just has been nothing there for the Peacocks, and it's going to bring up another third down and long for Upper Iowa, Lou.
Yeah, just not where they want to be, but unfortunately for the Peacocks, that's where they've been all afternoon. See if they can try to pick up a first down on third down. Just only happened one time the entire afternoon.
300-7. That's the difference in rushing yards between these two teams as they go out to the right side on third down, but it's just dropped, and man, that just sums up the day for Upper Iowa, as they had Ford. He just could not hang on to the football, and that brings up another punting situation for Upper Iowa.
A play like that is just not your day. I mean, it's just not your day, and it has been Wayne State's day.
I think the key is trying to keep the energy up here if you're Wayne State, as the punt is away. It's a low-line drive, and Bird lets it go. It's going to bounce all the way to the end zone. I wasn't sure about that decision, but to be fair, those punts from Upper Iowa and Tragan Kramer have been not really skying as far as hang time. I think he read the trajectory of that football and just let it go.
Yeah, I think I'm surprised, though. I think normally you want to catch those footballs. Those low-line drives are easy to return, and you're fortunate when you let the ball go when you're about the 20-yard line that it doesn't roll dead inside the 10 or the 5-yard line. I think you got fairly fortunate on that, letting that one go.
That might be a game situation kind of thing, too. Just
Very
mitigate as many possible bad scenarios as possible as the handoff goes right side for the Wildcats, and I believe that's Lynch getting the carry this time. Indeed it was. The native of Irving, Texas, transfer from Toledo, former Rocket. That again just shows the depth of this Wayne State offense. You've got a Division I transfer who's only getting on now with the second unit.
Yeah, very much so. A lot of talent. I think this Wayne State team, this is about the most talented squad I've seen since I've been doing Wayne State games.
Lynch will go up the middle this time. Stretches out past the 25. It's going to bring up third and short for the Wildcats. You know, Wayne State really just chasing, with all these continued wins, chasing really that 93 team that had guys like Kevin Swain, Byron Chamberlain, Brett Salisbury. And that was a team that could hang points as well when they had Dennis Wagner as the head coach.
Yeah.
Certainly they made the playoffs a couple times under Dan McLaughlin, They've been trying to get back to that level of success as Lynch gets to the 30, maybe just a bit short of that. We may have another Alex Powders situation. Nope, they are going to give Wayne State the first down.
Yeah, I think so. They telling the wind clock, and they're moving the chains, so it looks like first down, Wayne State. Obviously, Upper Iowa not happy with that spot, apparently.
Yeah, second-year head coach Jason Hoskins. Haven't seen a lot from him as far as being animated today. I imagine the 49-point deficit maybe negates that just a little bit, but he's not happy. He felt like that should at least be a measurement, as not a lot there for Willis, and he just chucks the ball away. We'll live to see another day. It's going to be 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats.
Yeah, just get rid of the football. No sense to force anything, especially at this stage of the game.
Willis, a native of Ferguson, Missouri. And we mentioned he started last year as the starting quarterback. Really had a heck of a game against Mary. It was an injury that kind of forced Bowen into play, and Bowen just played really well and never really relinquished the starting spot.
He seized the opportunity, no question about it. And Willis has stuck around here, very talented player himself.
He throws out to Elder this time. Elder was trying to get a block from Orr, but nice job by that Upper Iowa defense, as it was Parrish, a grad student from New Jersey, who busted through the block and made the tackle, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and long for the Wildcats.
You know, I think for Wayne State right now, you obviously get through this ball game, but I think you can focus now on in Sioux Falls and trying to get to the playoffs. I think you saw it last year with Coach McMenamin. This team that really starting to turn the corner. There was conversation of Wayne State. That pass goes incomplete, sets up 4th down. There was conversation last year about Wayne State getting to the playoffs, and then obviously the Upper Iowa game kind of ended all those that conversation. But I think you saw the team just talent-wise and execution-wise, just getting better, and then it's kind of translated into this season. I think again this program is just in a good spot. You went from Coach McMenamin to Coach Masters, 2 very good coaches, and I like the trajectory this program is on.
Yeah, with John McMenamin, they had, an extra year. It was his 2nd year that was his 1st year on the sidelines because there was the COVID year. And it felt like they did a nice job of keeping the team together and really utilizing that off year, which maybe would have been potentially a 4 or 5 win season on the field. Instead, they came out. They may have been a year too early. They kind of limped to the finish line a little bit, but still had a solid season. And when they were picking the preseason poll in the NSIC this year, they were picking, it felt like, you have a first-year head coach, and so they were going to take a step back. But really, Logan Masters was kind of a continuation of John McMenamin. He was part of that staff. A lot of that staff stayed together because John McMenamin didn't take a head coaching job. He wasn't pulling assistants with him. He took an assistant coaching job at Tulane. And so it felt maybe like Wayne State was being undervalued when they were picked toward the bottom of the preseason poll. And it feels like a team that as that ball is jarred loose from Ford, they will say it's incomplete. But it felt like a team that, maybe people just were sleeping on them a tad. And there's still a lot of heavy lifting to do for Wayne State. They've been a little bit fortunate in that they don't draw the top 2 teams in the North in their schedule this year. Maybe it's been a little bit of a fortuitous schedule for them, but they've played well. It's a team that seems fully together.
You see the improvement. I think that again that it's all about trajectory. Where's this program headed? And I think they're heading in the right place. I think the fact that you went to Sioux Falls and pick up a near win. You lost that game to Augustana with 9 seconds to go. I mean that's impressive. Now Augustana still leading, or rather losing right now to Winona State. Winona State's been the team that's kind of surprised everybody, I think. Third quarter, it's 14-0 Winona State. Minnesota State 31-21 lead at halftime over Sioux Falls. So, but I think again, it's where you're going, and right now I think they're going in the right place.
Well, and I think a lot of people, pass down the middle to the tight end. Once again, who's had a big day, that being Isaiah Gray. He's had a couple big receptions. Upper Iowa trying to get back on the scoreboard and doing so against some second-teamers, but trying to get a little bit of that momentum going for them as well.
Yeah, won their first ball game of the season last week. That was a nice win for them. Minot State, it was 33-22 was the final on that one, so just try to have some positives here if you're Upper Iowa.
Overstreet going back toward the end zone, and good coverage. What a breakup on that play. As coming in to swat it away was Jacoby Hurst, the redshirt freshman from Papillion La Vista High School, former Monarch. His alma mater unfortunately knocked out of the playoffs last night.
That was a good physical play there defensively. Knocked that ball out of his hands.
Handoff back to Barry, who's inside the 10. It's going to bring up about 3rd and 5 for the Peacocks.
Third down and 6 here for Upper Iowa. I think you're definitely going to think 4 downs here. You want to get some points on the board.
Don't forget to stick around for the Player of the Game, brought to you by Wayne State College, devoted to student success for more than 100 years. And we've got a timeout on the field as Upper Iowa wants those points. We'll go ahead and take a break right there with them. Back after this on News Channel Nebraska.
When you want to wear your school's spirit on your sleeve, true Nebraskans turn to Custom Sports Screen Printing. No matter what activity you want to show off, Custom Sports has you covered in whatever color your spirit comes in. Check out the gallery at nebraskascreenprinting.com to see custom designs for every school activity, sport, booster club, and event. And get your group orders in now for a fast and convenient turnaround. Custom Sports Screen Printing at nebraskascreenprinting.com. Proud to be Nebraskan.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Overstreet from the shotgun throws right side to right and gobbled up, and there's a flag at the end of the play. Trying to figure out what that is as Gerald Fly made the tackle.
Might have a face mask.
That's unfortunate because Fly really made a nice play. You were correct, Lou. Personal foul, face mask. That will make scoring a little bit more of a realistic proposition here for Upper Iowa as we take a look at the replay, try and see where Gerald Fly got him. Oh, yep, there it is.
That's unfortunate because that would have been 4th down. Instead, 1st down and goal now for Upper Iowa.
No guarantee, though, for a team that struggled at points this year. Wayne State fans starting to get loud, trying to keep him out of the end zone. Man goes in motion. Overstreet takes the shotgun snap, option pitch right side, and it is strung out to the sideline. Nothing doing for Barry. Really, Wayne State in a state that is known for the option. Granted, it's been many years. those defenders knew how to defend that, and it's going to bring up 2nd and goal for the Peacocks.
Well, they did a good job to overload that short side of the field. Upper Iowa tried to outman them running that option play to the short side, but Wayne State did a great job to get over there and force that play to the boundary.
2nd down and goal from the 3. Overstreet looks back to his sideline. Peacocks trying to get a late consolation score, and we've got a timeout. Sprinting down the sidelines was Upper Iowa head coach Jason Hoskins. So you know what? We'll take one as well. Back after this on News Channel Nebraska.
Life is full of occasions, some planned, some unexpected, some profound. At Faith Regional Physician Services OBGYN, our goal is to keep you in good health, to be there for all of life's moments. Together, we'll create the best health solutions for your symptoms and lifestyle with compassionate care tailored to you. Faith Regional Physician Services OBGYN, here for you no matter the occasion.
A look at the Wayne State College Band. Good crowd on hand here today in Wayne, America, and they are being treated. Wildcats on top 56-7 with 5:13 left to play in the game. Upper Iowa trying to tack a late score on. We see the Wayne State fans. I wouldn't say there's a lot of juice left in the building as the handoff goes. Barry left side shakes a tackler, and he's across the goal line for a touchdown. Upper Iowa, their first touchdown since it was 7-7. Obviously, a lot's happened since then, but Peacocks get a consolation score and pull within 43.
Yeah, it's exactly what you want to do here if you're Upper Iowa. Try to end this ball game on a bit of a high note. Obviously, been a very difficult afternoon, but they do put together a drive here. You get the touchdown.
Seefeld's kick is up and good. 56-14 the score with 5:08 left to play. We'll go ahead and keep it here as Wayne State trying to, we've talked about it, Lou, trying to build some momentum toward what could be a make-or-break game for both them and Sioux Falls. Even if Sioux Falls loses to Minnesota State today, they're realistically in that hunt for the playoffs. They absolutely cannot lose to Wayne State next week. And Wayne State, you know, on the back of 2 losses, really can't afford to lose either. I mean, a 3-loss team, it's not unheard of to get in there. But we also mentioned Wayne State didn't draw the top 2 teams from the north in their schedule. They need, I think, another benchmark win to kind of push them into that conversation for the playoffs.
Well, I think they win out here. They are definitely in strong conversation for a playoff spot because I think you're right. Next week, I think it's an elimination game. Even though Sioux Falls is ranked right now, I don't know that the Northern Sun's a good conference, but I don't think any 3-loss team from the Northern Sun is going to make the playoffs. So I think it's a bit of an elimination game next week. And again, if you go 9-2, it is a strong enough league, and I think a win over Sioux Falls would be a quality win. The Minnesota State win is going to be a quality win. I think you certainly are at very least in the conversation, and you might just make it at 9-2.
And that is how they do it now, is they mention teams in the conversation rather than doing a top 10 regional ranking. They just put it in alphabetical order. What are the teams who we have on our radar right now? So Wayne State listed toward the bottom of that. That's how they do it with volleyball now, too. So it looks really funny for the Wayne State volleyball team, a team that's been ranked number 1 in the country most of the year. They're listed toward the bottom of those rankings. That's an instance. You get high enough in the rankings, whether it be volleyball or football, there could be more NCAA competition on the home surface. You just have to get into the top 4 for football to have a home game.
Right.
They take the top 7 in each region. The top team gets a bye. Meanwhile, for volleyball, It would be an 8-team regional hosted by the top seed. Of course, Wayne State hoping to do that. That would be a lot of fun if that were to come to Rice Auditorium.
Yeah, the volleyball team's not in the conversation for a playoff spot. They're in the conversation for a national championship. And that is an outstanding program, outstanding team this year. For Wayne State football, I think getting into the playoffs would be a huge accomplishment. And again, it's about where is this program going, and a playoff spot would just be another indicator of it's going in very much the right direction.
You know, we were talking about John McMenamin, his 1 year with Wayne State, 2 years, but 1 year on the field, and then NSIC voters kind of thinking, well, okay, it's a new coach. Wayne State, people around the Wayne State program really kind of talked about Logan Masters, kind of the way Wisconsin fans have talked about Jim Leonhard, where they knew that guy at some point was going to get a crack at the head coaching spot. Wisconsin fired Paul Christ just to give Jim Leonhard that audition. Wayne State fans have had a lot of buzz around Logan Masters for a while, and he's been involved in this program as an assistant coach, as a player, but he went away to a very good Chadron State program for a while, and he's gotten a chance to see a few things, as we now see our third Wayne State quarterback of the day. In for the Wildcats is Dylan Krause from Elkhorn South.
Yeah, just a redshirt freshman. Yeah, I think Logan Masters, bright young coach. I don't think there's any question about it, and I'm excited to see what he does with this program. I think I thought the same about Coach McMenamin, and he elected to take the opportunity to be an assistant on a D1 team. And by the way, Tulane's pretty good this year. If you haven't checked that out, beat Kansas State. But a very good young coach is Logan Masters, and I think this program did not lose much, if anything, when McMenamin went to Tulane and they hired Logan Masters.
And he's done a great job. McMenamin did a great job last year. But I think there was always the inclination that he kind of had an eye at moving up. And you want that from a coach.
Sure.
You want someone who's ambitious. And really to move up, if you eventually want to be a Division I college coach, you kind of have to take that Division I assistant coaching spot. It's really, really hard to get there from a D2 coaching spot. And maybe Logan Masters will be that guy who goes elsewhere eventually if he has enough success. But he is an alum. He's lived a lot of time in Wayne. That might be a guy who you could keep around for the long term, as Zachary Coleman, the Millard West grad, continues to churn things along for Wayne State on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what the future holds, and I don't think you can, blame a guy like Coach John McMenamin for making that leap. I mean, that it's what each person, what their goals are, what they want to do, and I think if you could keep a guy like Logan Masters even for a few years, you're going to be doing well.
Everybody is afraid of that guy, of whoever is their head coach moving on. It's understandable. But it's usually a good sign if that's the case.
Exactly.
If they're taking a bigger job, that means they've done good things. And at the D2 level, you have to be realistic and acknowledge that that's part and parcel, that comes with the success. You just hope that you have someone around long enough that they can kind of build that program and that you have that base.
Well, I think we all, whatever our profession is, we want two things. We want opportunity to move up, and certainly, your finances are pretty important these days. You'd like to make more money, but again, it's to each his own, and you can't blame a guy for moving up, and you certainly can't fault a guy for sticking around. It's just whatever each individual guy is looking for.
Lynch bowls his way out past the 42-yard line. Wayne State still establishing themselves on the ground. They're over 300 on the day. Again, that's the first time going over 300 since against Upper Iowa 3 years ago when they went for 415.
Wayne State knocking on the door. Matter of fact, they're there right now. 600 yards of total offense.
Wow. Last time, you said 600. Wow. Last time Wayne State went over 600 yards of total offense, that was against Minnesota Crookston, who used to be a part of the NSIC, on September 5th, 2015. They went for 662 yards against the Golden Eagles. And all due respect to the Golden Eagles, they were not the class of the NSIC at that time.
Yeah.
That was a team where you could usually pencil in a win. Back to the ground go the Wildcats, again with Lynch. And he just kind of slips, unfortunately, and that's going to be a loss for the Wildcats, bringing up 4th down.
Well, I don't know that Upper Iowa is going to have many offensive plays left no matter what happens here. So it appears that Wayne State's going to hold Upper Iowa under 200 yards of offense, only 179 yards of offense so far in this ball game. And certainly in the modern era of college football, that's pretty exceptional. That's a great defensive game, much like the Minnesota Crookston. I don't think Upper Iowa is one of the top teams either, but that's still an accomplishment. And then
Wayne State trying to run this out. If they get a first down, that wraps it up.
Mm-hmm.
They do call a timeout here, and Colin Prosser is laying into one of his wide receivers, or not exactly sure what happened, but trying to keep everything sharp is this Wayne State coaching staff. They're not trying to take the foot off the gas pedal, at least emotionally.
Right. Yeah, and you talked about, like Coach Prosser. We talked about Coach Masters, but, certainly a head coach is a big reason why programs do well or do poorly, but you got to have good assistants. This Wayne State crew has good assistants as well. And certainly Coach McLaughlin there on the defensive side.
Yeah, he's been there across 3 head coaches, McLaughlin has. First his dad, then John McMenamin, and now Logan Masters. That's kind of unheard of as a defensive coordinator. Prosser, we've talked about him. He came over to Wayne State from Minnesota State, but a chance to play with his old Wayne State teammate in Logan Masters, as Krause does stretch across the first down marker, and that will wrap this game up. 56-14. Wayne State's going to be able to take the victory formation and call this one a W, and just another impressive performance across both sides of the ball for Wayne State.
Absolutely. You can't. I don't think you can play much better than Wayne State played overall. I mean, you always find things you can clean up, but 605 yards of total offense. I think you'll take that. 82 snaps, and as we mentioned, held Upper Iowa at 179 yards total offense. Great all-around victory here today for the Wildcats.
And the Cats take the snap and the knee and pick up their 7th win of the season, now 3-2 in the NSIC South. Final score 56-14. We've got the postgame show coming up along with the Wayne State College Player of the Game. Back with more after this. This has been College Football on News Channel Nebraska.
If you're thinking about building in the country but still want to be close to a community with schools, medical, and a thriving downtown, consider purchasing on acreage at 220 Acreage north of Hardington. With interest rates low, you can buy now and there's no requirement on when you need to build. Check out the property on Facebook at 220 Acreage. Internet, water, country living, everything is ready for your dream come true home. Call 402-254-6895 today.
Fall harvest means long hours for you and your equipment. You both need a fuel that can handle the pressure. So use Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster Premium Diesel from Farmer's Pride for more power, better fuel economy, faster starts, and special additives to help reduce downtime. What's more, when you do business with Farmer's Pride, you'll notice a personal touch that goes beyond the expected. Farmer's Pride, in the field, on your farm, in your community.
Babies need chiropractic too. A chiropractic.
I'm Chris Suckup, and I started at Madison County Bank in 2003.
Experience, commitment to community, and unmatched customer service.
Madison County Bank has been rooted in Northeast Nebraska for over 130 years and is here to help you grow. For ag banking, home loans, and business banking, visit your local Madison County Bank in
Madison,
Plainview,
Albion,
and all of Northeast Nebraska.
When it comes to your auto partner, there is no house divided when you choose Woodhouse. 18 brands, one team, a winning experience every time.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. If your business needs help financing big-ticket items, visit gocurrency.com for details. And by Custom Sports. Represent your school and look good doing it with Custom Sports. NCN Sports is sponsored by Certified Piedmontese Beef, Real Nebraska Beef, Norfolk Auto Center, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple always, and by Plumbing and Electric. Looking for country living? Contact 220 Acreage today.
(56-14), the final score. Wayne State moves 7 with the victory over Upper Iowa here in Wayne, America on Hall of Fame Day at Wayne State College. Let's take a look at the highlights and see how we got to this point. Wayne State in Wayne, America, the Wildcats looking for win number 7 on the season on a beautiful day. And they were able to do so with a touchdown pass from Nick Bowen, finding his man Trevor Marshall for the touchdown, putting the Wildcats on top 7-0. Upper Iowa, though, would respond with a 26-yard touchdown strike from Overstreet to Ewald. That tied it up at 7-7, but Wayne State would take over in the second quarter. Nick Bowen finds Trey Miller for a 5-yard touchdown pass. The Alex Powders kick 14. At that point, Wayne State adds another one on with Anthony Watkins, the touchdown run. He'd have 4 total touchdowns today. He got the help from his quarterback, Bowen, with the big block on that play, making it 21-7. Watkins would go back to work, this time to the right side, getting to that corner of the end zone, making it 28-7 before halftime. But Wayne State wasn't done before the break as Bowen found Mason Lee, and Mason Lee did work getting to the end zone, getting the Wildcats to a 35-7 edge before the break. Wayne State wouldn't slow down coming out of halftime as Watkins, after a long run, they feed him and he finishes off the drive for another touchdown. But he could also do it through the air. Touchdown pass from Nick Bowen to Anthony Watkins and just coasts his way in, making it 49-7. Wildcats would get another one on the ground. Upper Iowa would get a late consolation touchdown, makes it 56-14, the final score, as Wayne State continues its fantastic season. That's the final score, 56-14. We've got interviews coming up and more analysis. We're going to go ahead and send it down to the field right now as our own Nolan Hoffman has the victorious coach, Logan Masters. Nolan, take it away.
And we're now now joined by the winning head coach, Logan Masters. And Coach, was this the type of performance you wanted in this game going into next week against Sioux Falls?
Yeah, it was. We played pretty well. I mean, scoring 50 points and holding them to 14 like last week. Holding anybody to 14 points in college football is pretty good. Still a lot of things being cleaned up. First quarter wasn't pretty. I think it was 7-7, and then we got things going. Yeah, got to play a lot of guys. Hopefully stay pretty healthy to set up for the last 2 games of the year.
And what did you like about the offense today?
We ran the ball. We were able to hit some throws down the field. The first quarter was a little sloppy, but efficiency was good after that, and running game travel. So it was good to see Ant get going, and all of our backs really, and even Nick. We want to run the ball, and that was good to see.
What about the defense?
Defense getting stops on third down. I don't know what we were, but it seemed like we were pretty stinking good on third down. They just had the one drive in the first half, and then really didn't do anything besides that. It seemed like a lot of 3 and outs, and that's what we can do, because then we can get our offense back out there and keep our defense fresh. So special teams were good. It was a good team win.
And what are you going to emphasize this week going into Sioux Falls?
Keep getting better. Keep getting better. We got to focus. We got to start even faster than we did this past Saturday, and give ourselves a chance, because we found out when we play some of those top teams, if we don't start out well, it's an uphill battle from there, and when we do, we have good results. So got to start fast, play well, and execute.
And would you call the next game pretty much a must-win for you guys season to hopefully get in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, to me, every game's a must-win. I mean, but yeah, I mean, this one, when you have 2 good teams, whether they won or lost today, you want to beat Sioux Falls has been kind of one of the standard teams, one of the best teams. So, yeah, whenever you get a chance to get a win like that, you'll take it. So, again, just comes down to us being us and not making it more than it is, and go and execute, play hard, and play for each other.
And finally, what can you say about our player of the game, Anthony Watkins?
He was awesome today. I don't know how many yards he ended up with, but he was in the end zone, caught a nice pass, scored. He's a big play guy, and we need him to play like he did today. And when he does, we're pretty good on offense.
Thanks, Coach. Enjoy the win.
Thank you, Go Cats.
Thanks so much. Let's bring in our player of the game, Anthony Watkins.
How you doing?
How you doing, man? Really good win, a really good performance today. What'd you like about your performance today?
I like the way my offensive line blocked for me today. The holes are there. My job's to hit them and make something happen.
And it seems like the offense going to the Sioux Falls next week is playing with a ton of confidence. The way you guys put 56 points on the board today. How much confidence is the whole offensive scheme, whole offensive personnel playing with?
We're pretty much confident every game in, game out. It's just up to us to execute and get the job done. We have all the weapons, all the pieces to have a successful offense, so it's always just up to us to produce and execute.
And how do you guys continue to get better?
Coming to practice every day, ready to work, not getting complacent. I know this is one of our best seasons we've had in a while, so we just keep it on our conscience, on our mind to work every day, be coming to practice, not take a day light.
And going into next week, it's going to be a critical game for you guys. What do you think about your opponent in Sioux Falls next week?
Oh, they're a tough team. They know how to run the ball. They got a pretty aggressive defense, so I mean it's going to be a dogfight. We're just coming in, looking to play our best game, and see who come out with the win.
Well, thanks so much. Enjoy the victory. Thanks so much. Let's send it back up to you, Pat, for more post-game coverage here at Wayne State College.
Thank you very much, Nolan. Once again, the final score 56-14. Just a dominant performance all the way around for the Wildcats as Wayne State moves to 7-2, and they set up a big showdown at Sioux Falls next week. And then, of course, they close out the season a week later at home against Minnesota State Moorhead. Lou, this Wayne State team, they've given themselves a chance, a puncher's chance at getting into the NCAA Division II playoffs. They did what they had to do today. Now they've set up a big one for next week. I would say this is exciting times to be a Wildcat fan wearing black and gold here in Wayne, America.
Absolutely. I have to disagree with Anthony Watkins on one thing. It's not going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a cat fight. It's the Cougars and the Wildcats. So let's just get that straight. No, it's a mindset thing now for Wayne State. I think you're getting to the point where you go into a game like Sioux Falls next week where I think in a lot of years past you're just hoping you can win that game. I think this team's starting to believe that they will win in games like that. I think that's the mindset you have to take up there no matter what happens with Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls down 10 with about 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. But it doesn't matter. I think when you're playing good teams and especially road games, you have to have that positive mindset and that confidence. I think quietly Wayne State's starting to get there.
Final score, once again, 56-14. Want to thank Connor Luby back in the truck directing everything, and as well as our entire crew. Also Nolan Hoffman down on the sidelines, and my color man Lou Siefker, the best in the business. Also Sheldon Fox up here in the press box with us today, researching and providing stats, and everyone at Wayne State College and their sports information department. Want to thank you for tuning in. It's been a fun one. Final score 56-14. Wayne State beats Upper Iowa. This has been College Football on News Channel Nebraska.
We now join